I'm in fucking whatever.
Here
Tell
we
her
go.
you're already home.
We're doing it.
Okay.
All right,
I
let's
gotta
do
let
it.
you guys go. Sorry.
All right, Sheldon. I
Yeah.
love you, buddy.
Bye. Love you too, guys. Keep it
Love you,
real,
man.
man.
We will. All right.
Alrighty.
All right.
We're live.
Awesome,
Good
man.
morning,
What a
everybody.
opening.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a
Uh,
great,
you know
great,
the
great
deal,
start.
everybody. Delicious Divination. And Barry Sine Waves and Todd here to talk about the vibes.
That's right, man. Episode 13, the 1-3.
Spooky.
Yep. For
Spooky.
nobody that no, for everybody that wasn't just with us for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we had Sheldon on. Sheldon got called home, unfortunately. He might pop in later, I imagine, but
Called him.
man, I love it, dude. He's just like a bucket of wildfire, man. It's
Dude, 7 grams is a lot.
oh
that's a
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
time.
That's a fun time. He's probably, like I said, still processing that.
Oh yeah.
So we've got good morning. We've got Happy Father's Day, right?
Oh yeah.
Sunday, Father's Day. Everybody, I guess I got to call my dad later.
Yeah, probably
Um,
should.
but hey, Father has
Mm.
got fat and whore in it. Does it? Does it
Mm.
not? It's a fat
Mm.
whore,
Fat
man.
her. Fat her.
And look where
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna celebrate this on the 20th, right? Right on
Mm.
June 20th.
Yep.
What's tomorrow? The 21st. The height of light. We've
Mm.
got the summer solstice, so it's like this big orb of luminescent light, all this sensual feeling, Jupiterian yummy stuff where it's full on experiential reality is pretty much what we've got going
Mm.
on here. This is happening, and look where this is happening. This is in We're in Gemini right now, folks.
Yeah.
We're in a double Gemini spot too, because we're 5 degrees Gemini sidereally, and we are 29 degrees Gemini tropically. So every time right before we switch over tropically, we hit those magical 2-3 days where the tropical and the sidereal are actually the same.
Oh, nice.
I mean, granted, you're still 24 or 5 degrees away,
Mm.
but it's an ever shifting clock, man.
Right.
So mutable air, right? The mind of the Father. Father, this Father Sky, Father's Day. I mean, the Father is everything above the horizon. So when you look at a chart, everything below the horizon would be the mother. Everything above the horizon would be the father. This is why they put Capricorn in the 10th house as the southern sky, the S, the sine wave, the snake, the all. The sine wave is what holds the information. So we've gone through this many times. By just doing the experience, you get the information, right?
Mm.
So you're going to go pick up this log. You pick up the log. Oh shit, the log's heavy. You start getting information right away. Oh shit, it got me a splinter. This thing can hurt me if I'm not paying attention to it. You immediately just start gathering information from it in many
Right.
different directions. From the future, you get what can I do with this wood? I can burn it, I can whittle it. So it's the object itself is the holder of the mind. It is the father. It is what pretty much, I don't want to say takes care of and nurtures. That's the mom right there, but it's the provider. It's the giver,
Mm. Doesn't it provide like
and
the
that's
foundation? Like.
right,
Mm.
right. Well, and it gives because Ma before she had the father, right? We had earth and air, so we
Mm.
pretty much had, well, the air would be a positive father force. So before we had the fire and the water, we had the earth and the air. So we didn't have duality yet. We didn't have the cold and the hot. We didn't have the left and the right, the red and the blue yet. We just had that consciousness that stems from the earth, just that original transparent right there. And that's probably the black and the white right there. I kind of like Aquarius as white, the Uranus right there, fixed air. It's really the light that contains all the color because within that one white ray, you've got all the different color spectrums. Probably hence their attack on the white. I mean, we're looking at a white war right now. If you look around at the media, the way everything is, there's a big attack on the white person. They're trying to make the white person a, horrible, horrible, horrible person. They're pretty much trying to frickin', it looks like, exterminate them. And it's when they propagate the racism, when they put out all the affirmative action everywhere, the hiring preferences, when they, I mean, you're looking at an attack. They know. I mean, and it's not just the color of your skin. The color of your skin is telling you something that's manifesting from the internal realms. So it's showing you something that's here. It's showing you what kind of forces you're playing with. It's showing you what kind of forces are present in front of you. So the skin color, the eye color, all these colors speak volumes. So when you have white as your skin color, this is connected to Saturn, as Saturn would rule that bone to the skin, the soft silica and the hard silica, the ether gas and the sulfur gas, the black and the white, that which rules the inside and the stickiness, and that which grabs everything, and then that which separates, which is the white, which is really going to be tied to the moon, which is going to be tied to the Milky Way, which is really tied to that which contains all color, in living color. So the moon forces, or the soma, which is Amos backwards, with that in itself right there is the life force. That is what is breathed in, the life breath. So you breathe that color in, and all of a sudden you get sense, you get taste, you get smell. Right now I'm on month 3 of not much taste and smell, and it's a
Wow.
texture work. It's just shadows and forms. Like when I go to eat, I can start to get light, like, senses in coming in on the taste and the smells, but it's not like the most powerful ones either. Whatever that thing is they use medically to put under someone's nose to wake them up, I don't think I could smell that right now.
Wow.
But if I go to clean, like, my squirrel area where they're sleeping and stuff, I can smell, like, where they, not in a bad way, but it's like a light, just
Yeah.
some smells are allowed in and some aren't. So it's a very color and white, and that soma, that moon force. That's moon is mono. That's just an anagram of mono, one. So that's that one water system, that one ice cube melting down and going into duality, into the two, into the fractals, all the little raindrops, all the Christ, the clear. Everything you look at has water. This is a water world. So water in itself is the 33, is Christ. It's that move up from 32, the frozen nature, goes right into movement, real movement, 33 and above, which is the 6, which 3 is movement. So you've got the two movements of really the sun and the moon forces right there. You can't have that water melting. You can't have that moon, that monad dripping down into duality, into the two, without that fire forces. So we're bowing down to the fire gods now. We send all our food down to our gut. We cook our food. We pretty much, heat and fire is something we're trying to raise up, because that's what takes us out of death and decay. That's what puts us into eternity. The fire forces are that which escapes the form. So the form is very much a cell, or a holder, a keeper. And fire is what that can use to make its form everlasting. So think of a fire. The fire's biggest height is to become a star. So the fire goes all the way down from the magma, the deep forces where it's just kind of bubbling, and it starts with movement and friction and just things that are causing heat, and then all of that heat gets condensed, and then that heat starts to melt stuff, and then we start to get visible fire. And then from there, the height of visible fire is going to be the stars, which is that which you see in the black. I mean, and then the stars that you can even see with the suns out, the Venuses, the Jupiters, sometimes the Sirius. It just depends on the angles and the positions and times of year. I mean, these are all. That's why they're so glorified, because its light even outdoes Saul. You know, you better call Saul. Um, a
That was a good
criminal
show.
lawyer.
I didn't see that.
Sometimes you need a real criminal lawyer.
Was it a good show?
um,
You watch that show?
the Breaking Bad.
Well, the Saul one.
No, well,
Okay.
that's the one. Yeah, the Better Call Saul one is the Breaking Bad.
Oh, they made a show of just that guy.
Oh, they did, didn't they? I haven't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
seen that shit, dude.
Hmm.
Oh, I gotta watch that. Yeah, man, Saul is soul. That's the sun right there. So it kind of the soul is the arc, that's the feminine. The moon is the crystalline straight forces, like the crystal, the 90-degree cubes, the arcs, the straight lines. The father doesn't fuck around. It goes straight through. There's no
Hmm.
going around shit. Fire goes straight through. If you light something on fire, it burns straight through.
Hey,
It doesn't go around.
let me ask you something.
What do you got?
Have you ever read Flatland?
No, no,
Right.
tell me about it.
Okay. So, and this is something I've been juggling for a while because of just what you similar to what you just said with the father being straight lines, which I totally agree. I guess it becomes just a constant flip flop. But anyway, Flatland's this book. It's pretty old. I think early 1900s. It's about essentially it's a story that takes place in a 2D world, so they don't have three dimensionality, and everything is basically gradations of lines in terms of how
Oh,
they can
wow.
see. But one of them sort of gets ascended and ends up seeing what three dimensions is like, because which appears as like a perfect sphere and is essentially godlike to these, flat being. But the interesting thing is
Mhm.
that the females are straight lines, and
Oh, man.
it's good for them, so to speak, because they can be lethal. So like people have to watch out for them if they're walking around because they'll just like spear you, And then if
That's the
they,
spirit. Yeah.
yeah, if they
Yeah, that's
get
the spirit. Yeah.
and I don't know if they get mad, they like screech and stuff. But like, I don't know. It's interesting that if the masculine represents linear, then why did they depict the feminine as a straight line? I guess in a physical sense it makes sense, but I guess it's also that
Right,
flip
right.
flopping that's always going on.
Sure. And then you got to think of, that true feminine nature, that magnetic nature, you're going to have sections of straight line,
Yeah.
it's because it's stacking crystal cubes pretty much. I mean, if you ever take a bunch of like iron dust and a magnet and play around with it, you can see the way it stacks. It starts to arc out,
Hmm.
as you go along. So it makes like a J. It makes that fish hook right there. So the the you could be looking at sections of the female, like, hey, this magnetism that's real close to the center right here, that goes out into a straight line, signifies something. It signifies that it's close to this center sphere, because as you approach away, as you leave this area, you're outside of the central sphere, where it's not straight anymore, and it starts to slag, it starts to dip a little bit to go back towards the central sphere. So pretty much any kind of arc or movement in a magnetic line shows that female outside of her natural circle right there. So that's almost like free energy, free magnetism for the taking. Something could come along right there. It could take that bow or that arc and the magnetism, and it could absorb it. It could pull it towards it. And it could pretty much take that J, and now it could become a straight line in a different body. So it's showing space pretty much to me.
Hmm.
It's showing close to the center, which is sent her, and that's where she hangs out. She's got, huge feelers, man. Um, just I've I've never met a partner like, Amy, my partner right now, but she has shown me the true nature of a woman. Like, whatever they
Hmm.
have this like magnetic quality inside, where
Yep.
you can just, I don't want to say it's a toy, but you can kind of, it's got a rhythm to, it's got a breath to it, like it's got a pulse. It's like a fucking cat purr almost. But
Yeah.
it doesn't have the cat purr has the brrr, like the little dots in it.
Hmm.
The human purr has like a wave, like a
Yeah.
steady, like a wave with different weights to it. And I remember when we first met, like we actually hurt each other, like our shins. I then that's when I started discovering that the shins are a very, like Aquarius, the shin is that whole area right there is like two iron pillars or something or glass. I don't know what's in there, but they are super electricity generators. All I know is that her magnetism arcs and it
Yeah.
can ground into those areas, especially at the ankle bone. Pretty much Pisces right there. That little knob bone that comes out, like I've felt super sparks right there, like from our like legs sitting on each other,
Mm.
and it's it's like a foot to head movement, so it almost feels like you could try to, and I think she can, but you can press down, like you can kind of like hold it down, but then when you release the pressure of holding it down, it like comes back up, like it's like a floaty. I don't even know. And then sometimes it feels like it comes through left to right, like it's moving on a current from a left to right, like it's just
Mm.
like coming to you and you're absorbing it. And then as you absorb it, it goes back out into her. And it's fucking weird, man. Um,
Mm.
Never felt it before. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not like a man whore or anything. I've been out there measuring a bunch of different ladies and stuff. But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I've been through two marriages and, I dated when I was younger. And I don't know if it's something it's that is a combination of me and her. I mean, we have a nice
Probably.
90-degree sun difference with our pretty much Aries, Capricorn, sidereally, or Taurus, Aquarius. She's the Aquarius, I'm the Taurus, or I'm the Aries, and she's the Capricorn. And I think a real natural marriage is a 90-degree angle, is a cross. That's what sticks together, right? That's where you have two things that are of the same family, so they're both fixed, so they're from the same blood. And it just so happens me and her are both A negative blood. So you've got
Wow. Nice.
two of the same. I mean, A negative's kind of rare. I guess all the negative bloods are fairly rare, but it's the copper blood. And so you've got that factor in there as well, both fixed signs. And then you've got earth versus air, things that don't typically go together, a positive and a negative force. So it's showing you right away you've got true sex, like a true marriage.
Mm.
That's where sometimes, and it's funny, she was married for a long time to a Gemini.
Huh.
And that would have been a trine to her Aquarian, energy right there. She's got a super stellium and Aquarius, so she's got a lot of like fixed air, tropical energy or cardinal earth, sidereal energy. And when they say opposites, or opposites attract, or if you think of harmony, if you think of you trying to find a sign of harmony for yourself, I don't think it works. I don't think that's true harmony. And she got to live that. She got to see, it felt more of a brother, like a brother or a sister, not
Mm.
like a sexual partner love that you have, that kind of love, but more of a like a family love, like a close family, like a protection or a teamwork or just a different kind of love, I guess.
Sure.
So,
Mm.
and that's air to air, right? Or earth to earth. Um, so it's kind of, you can really learn a lot. I mean, one of my goals in life is I really want to figure out how things come together and the nature of coming together, the nature of harmony. I collect marriage data. I have probably over 600 marriages right now, of 10-year plus marriages, plus people that never got married, never had kids, those type of things to kind of compare.
Mm.
And I'm going to
Interesting.
find a nice way to use computers and throw it all in a spreadsheet. And I want to see the patterns, I want to see the real, because that's what the future is going to be. It's going to be who has access to the real data,
Right.
I mean, because we're in
Wow.
such a manipulated, data
That's where we
saturated
are
world
already.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they control the knowledge, is they control the data that you see. So if you're just going to go collect your own data, you cut out the middleman, you cut out the media.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what we're all going to have to do in whatever category that you want to give forth towards. Really, it's just like art for Utah, or
Yeah.
psychedelics. I mean, just take your pick. I mean, you have to go there yourself. You can't read a book about it.
Yeah, I mean you can, but it's never going to equate to the source of, the experience. So.
Right, yeah, and that's right back full circle to the experience holding the real, information. That's why it's such a battle for the analog system for me. I mean, because you pick up this is a live interactable program you're in. I mean, you're in something that has growth, and it's in every little piece of it you can touch and interact. You can pick up this little clover and look at it, and each one's different. They have all got these different marriage of electromagnetism going on with different things to show you. And I mean, it's such a information sink, man. This place is That's why I feel like you can't be a know-it-all. Like, you could never touch those realms. It's there's
Yeah.
too much,
Yeah.
with a linear, because we're spirits, right? We're stuck on these linear like consciousness paths, like these linear, like, at least directions. I mean, because you can have, if you're going to be in time, you got to have direction. Like, it's a key principle to time. So
Hmm.
if you're going to be outside of time, that means you are everything. You're everywhere and you're nowhere. So those are the options that you have. So to be to keep gaining and to keep growing, that's in the environment of time and having a direction. So really, your question in the end is going to be, what are you growing towards, or where are you headed, right? So, and that's weird, right? Where are you headed? That sounds like a north, south, east, west 2D question, but it's got head like up, like, this other fifth direction, the pyramid, above you, instead of the snake that eats its tail on the 2D circle. So it's very much, where is our whole entire system headed?
Hmm.
That's a good starting question to even ask. Where are all these trees? Where is this system? Where is this thing we call our sun? Where is this whole entire thing arced and angled towards? Wouldn't that be whoever's holding together this entire thing? Wouldn't they'd have access to, like, all the knowledge available in this entire system. So, and then you only get one choice on a 360-degree 2D direction of movement. That's literally your only choice for movement, is 1 or 0 through 360. So I guess there's 361 choices, really, which is the perfect 10. You've got the 360 choices of where you're going to step out towards, right? You can keep looking, nope, not there, not there, not there, or you can not step out. That's
Yeah.
the 361st choice, which gives you 10, which gives you 1, which gives you 1 and the 0,
It's kind of
which
like
gives
the
you the
zero
symbol for the
choice or
sun.
something.
Right, right.
Choice
And
with
it's
no
really
choice.
both in one. Because if you look at that symbol for the sun, it's a bird's eye view of the 1 and the 0.
Right.
I mean, you've pretty much got the 1, you've got number, and then you've got 0, that which contains it. And that's how you get some tin out of nothing right there. You get it out of nothing by growing it up outside of the 2D circle. You don't grow it by smashing your way through the 2D circle wall past the 2D circle. That's how you kill yourself and you break your cell barrier and your cell wall. So you grow it by putting the pyramid, putting that fire in, and then by putting the opposite, the upside down tetrahedron in the water, and then you get, of course, the Star of David or the Merkaba, and then you got spin. That's right there at that moment. You're just now you can turn. Now you can just turn around with your mouth open, kind of like, just looking around in a circle. You're not even moving yet. You're just looking. And that's what we're doing. That's the stage we're at. So our system now, we are standing in a circle just looking. We're just like gazing with our mouth open, catching flies, just like amazed. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is adoring. And then when we choose our first movement, we're going to have to choose which direction we go towards. What are you going to choose? That's going to be the whole point of this system, is to take everything that you've had access to and to dial it down into one choice of movement, because or non-movement, right? So our system is headed towards Hercules, Alpha and Beta Star, right in between the two brightest stars of Hercules, which is Hercules. So the Father, the Spirit, the, well, I don't want to say the Spirit, the just the Father, the masculine, the sky, the knowledge, the logos, the reason, um, could be the love. I like the mother as the love too. I know love's got to be in both. So, there's love on each side, because the love is the all. Love divided down into the mother and the father. So each, the mother and the father, has the love. So the father provides it through, a different, like it's a provider, and the mother provides it through the nurture. And she's got that physical touch, and she builds up that body, she gives it everything it needs, and she has the caring heart to guide it along into, and then, the father's got the protecting words, the monetary, the house over your head. It's making sure you have everything you need. It's got that Capricorn Saturn. You've got that mother, probably that mother Jupiter nurture part. And that's probably why they did a negative positive sign on Saturn Jupiter right there to flip flop it.
Yeah.
And it's, and they all have a negative positive to them, but the what side we see, matters. Where a positive planet shows us that that planet is feeding influences to us in our system. A negative planet shows us that planet is taking influences from this system, and that's it. That's a positive and a negative to this system. It's all tied to what we're on. So if it's a positive thing, we are sending towards. That's our height. That's our head. That's where this system is connected to that positive node, and you can put your rising up gas astral nature there. The negative bodies are where you can ground into, where that's your past, that's everything you stand on, everything the other side is the things you can know, the things you can discover. That's why Jupiter and Argo and the Argonauts are Jupiter and all the gases, and really it's just a story of the noble gases going around, and Jupiter's collecting things for her. So he's collecting all these shiny things and all these neat things because she's the creature of curiosity. That's what made her who she is. And she contains secrets in those realms, through curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat, and it's required. Curiosity, to kind of wonder, that desire to know, is huge. That's required. You have to have that for anything here in this system. And if you don't, you're going to break down. And I mean, it's the more you desire to kind of unlock and strive towards deeper knowing and growth, I mean, just the more you're going to fill up your inside with ingredients that keep you here, that give you longevity, that give you youth, because you're constantly taking on new bodies. You're constantly bringing in new things. You're constantly adjusted to the way things are in the now. You're not hanging on to the past. You're not baited with a carrot and a stick on the future either. You're just sitting there enjoying that now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Your way to
man.
do it.
Know where we got there, but
You want to talk about the vibes?
the vibes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me what's been going on your end, man. What have you been seeing?
To be real, not a whole lot. I've been working a lot this, so
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
say, that particle accelerator image I shared last time.
yeah.
I still see that going on. But
Are you talking about the CERN image?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if that was specifically a CERN image, but yeah, that's the style, the where the particles collide or something. I don't know if that's real,
Yeah, okay.
but that's what the energy's. It feels like it's finally dissipating, which is really nice. Because every day I was like, man, just watching the stuff happening. You're like, God, like, amazing. We're not all crashing into each other right now. But
Oh yeah, truth, man.
otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It seems mellow. I don't know if it's the eye of the storm or what, but I just feel like it feels pretty good, pretty chill right
Today
now.
feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah, today feels a lot better. It's a good inside feeling.
Mhm.
This not Jupiter, this Saturn Uranus square has been I've been feeling it. I just feel the pressure.
Mm.
I've been having a ton of pressure to try to stay calm. I went 5 or 6 days with no cigars. I ended up getting some
Oh.
last night. I mean, I
Oh
was stressed
no.
and yeah, I mean it's cool. It
You
is what
couldn't
it
even
is.
get a week, bro.
I know it. I know it. So it's been getting to me, but honestly, me having a cigar as an outlet is a lot better than, a lot of my other outlets I've chosen in the past, to be honest. I mean, my words are just they can be some of the most nastiest things, I swear, in this entire system. And it's bad when they come out because they don't, and I've learned this too, that words aren't attached to what you mean. You can say things just to say things. Just, I mean, maybe what you mean to do is to hurt somebody, but there's not a lot of truth when you're sometimes hurting somebody or you're
Right.
saying something just to be mean. It's just you're just
Yeah.
saying something to be mean. That's an act in itself.
I think that's
And
easy
it
though,
really is. Amy
Think
just
of
said it's
it.
a reflection of you almost. I mean,
Mm.
it is. It's like it's coming out of you, right? It's some kind of purge that you've got.
Well,
It's
you should
almost, I don't
check
want to say
yourself,
uncontrollable, but
Well, you should check
yeah,
yourself, like try when that try saying absolutely nothing and just keeping it to yourself and like even that's
yeah, yeah,
probably I would guess you're probably going to feel that a lot just based on how you describe it and you're going to feel yourself wanting to keep saying stuff or say something and but maybe just eat it and see what happens.
yeah. It's
I
better when I eat it, I've noticed, because I got a real strong passive nature growing up.
mhm
Just I was a very passive child, a big observer, um, a little bit manipulative. I would manipulate adults' emotions to get what I wanted. I mean, I'm
yeah
not proud of everything I've done, but I've just, this system is something where you go through the highs and the lows. You know,
right
you learn that manipulating people isn't a good thing, so you
Well,
don't do
it's
that.
very easy. I mean, obviously, some situations
Yeah, I
require
know.
you to learn that. I mean, look at Christmas lie, the Christmas conspiracy theory. We tell children
Right,
that
right.
a fat man delivers you free gifts if you're quote unquote good, which I don't even know if they tell people that anymore. It's just you get free things on this day from a magical man.
I know it's horrible, man.
So it's
And look, and
very.
there really is a fat man is born. I mean, you've got Jupiter, you've got Mars bringing it to you, exalting right there on Christmas Day, and then
Mm,
you've got the story of light building. I mean, how
yeah,
obvious can it get? I
yeah.
mean, this whole entire system,
It's a
we've got this
training system.
visible
It
nature
seems
to
like
it. It's Lou is the best word, just Uncle Lou,
Glue.
because Lou is luminescence. Luminescence is different than light.
hmm
Those are two different things. The black sun gives us light.
So what do you think
The
like that means for like beetles and like the bugs and what about those mushrooms that can generate their own luminescence? Are they basically tapped into the wider spectrum or something?
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Like
really
using
good
that to
point.
manifest?
Insects are connected to Lu. So the ones that you're saying that generate their own light, they generate their own Lu. They have their own, like a firefly or a
Yeah.
lightning bug. I mean, they've got their own, and it's really phosphorus, right? I mean, it's some kind of sulfuric nature to it. It's some kind of gas emission, some kind of sulfur gas emission,
Yeah.
and it's causing the spark, and it's really only tapping the spark on and off. It's always emitting that gas, right? So when the firefly's flying around, it's probably flying by emitting a gas. That's probably what keeps the damn thing afloat.
Oh,
And then
I've
it
heard they
just
just vibrate and then the wings are just to basically pilot. That's how beetles work.
I mean, it
Whatever.
could be
Yeah.
maybe part of the symptoms of vibrating is gas emission or something, right? I mean,
For
it's just
sure,
so
yeah.
I'm sure it's all the same thing somehow.
Yeah.
Um, but it's and essentially what are they carrying? They're carrying the electric that Lou is like, the electricity side is that spark that brings it to life, right? That spark that brings Frankenstein to life. I mean, there's some different thing than me versus my corpse laying on the ground, and it's the spark of it inside. So that spark, I think, is light. And then what you see, it being alive and the spark animating something is Lou. So when we look up and the thing we call our sun, the thing I'm saying is Lou, that is the spark animated. So
Mm.
you've got both suns are really here. This is the black sun gives the golden rays. Okay. So the black sun is, the clear versus the black. So the black sun, is the crystal ball. We're in a fucking crystal ball. It's a giant crystal ball. And that's what's holding all this light. That's
Right.
what the planets are. They're just catching orbs in the ball. You're just looking at different parts of the sine wave. That's all this is.
You.
That's why we haven't moved anywhere yet, because we're in glass. G is inside and lasts. You last for a long time. Yeah. It's 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 the glass elevator too, right? The
Yeah.
sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, after Willy Wonka comes into the system and sees all the four children that were doing the wrong things, and then there was this one fifth child that saw things differently, that was actual good human being, and that's who got the keys to the factory and took the glass elevator. That's the elevator part, that's the moon. Those moon forces, that's what your goal is a little bit with those moon forces. So it comes down and it gives you life. It breaks down from the monad into duality. And it's, think of light coming in and water as one. And then as they hit the mountain, water separates now into its two, and it
Mm.
uses the mountain to do this, and then the water creates what we drink and all these things. So its first act is a giving act, a providing act. It gives us life, right? It gives this to us. This essence right here is movement. It's like our gasoline, pretty much. So
Mm.
we're gonna probably live into the days where we see the real war, which is going to be against water, which they're kind of starting up out west again right now with all the droughts, 137 degrees in Arizona, and just crazy shit. All the lakes drying up.
Mm.
I mean, there's a reason that you've got pretty much sand west of the Mississippi. I mean, there's a different nature going on there. There's a different magnetic nature. There's an in versus an out. You know, what goes out isn't what goes in. I mean, those are just two different things. So, I mean, it's like trying to start a fire in the swamp in Louisiana with wood you're finding around. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy to find water in some of these places that are not places of water.
Mm.
You don't go to an Aries, a Mars, a hot and dry, or a Leo, a hot and dry, or those fixed fires and those fire signs are very dry. They don't contain water. Water is opposite of fire, moist is opposite of dry. So there's places where there's no water. I mean, that's just the nature of it. And that's if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have the water, because if the dryness went away, the balance would go away. There wouldn't be any water anymore. I mean, you need the arid, you need the dry. That dry is what settles down that humidity, what gives it air, and what that dry preserves too. The wet destroys, the water just eats away and erodes. That's why it's called Scorpio. It scores the P-O, the life rock, right? Think of what rivers and creeks and they all do. They all carve away at the life rock, right? Just like they're doing with all their mining shit. I mean, this is one giant carving system with water. I
Hmm.
mean, there is a grand sculpture going on here, and it's like it is a water world, but not the kind of water world you think. It's like a dentist pick. It's just eating away at pretty much the impurities,
Yeah.
and it's not going to obviously be able to chip out the gold tooth or the silver nugget. I mean, it's you're going to see pretty much and those are the impurities. Gold, silver are impurities. I mean, the only thing that, I mean, anything that you can see is an impurity. That's
Hmm.
what's left. All of these things that are falling into this realm, this is the realm of the misfits and the impurities and the quincunx and the inconjunct angles. If you take that 150-degree angle and you put five of them out there around a zodiac wheel, you see that Lucifer cross that you pretty much see the Lucifer star, and you also see the same patterns that you see in the Lucifer eyeball angle system, where it goes out and it shows how the reflection comes in, flips and reverses, and it's like two X's. Those are all 150-degree angles, folks. That's
Hmm.
how you get that's how you get the visible circle around the object. So the 180-degree line is the spirit. That's the thing that goes straight through the middle. Okay. And then from there, the next thing out, that the 180 degrees is the thing you don't see. That's your spine. That's the 1-8. So there's a one pole and then there's a flower 8 spinning on it. Okay. And that's why you get in the a lot of the ancient charts, you see, instead of seeing 12, a division of 12, you see a division of 8, because that's the division of space. Division of time is in 12. Division of space is in 8. 8 plus 12 is 20. And that's where our hindsight's going to be. That's why they had 2020 be such a big year, because they want all of your hindsight to be in fear. They want everything to be anchored in fear. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole point of all the phrases we have. Everything is built in. When hindsight is 2020, the fact that that's a phrase and then they did what they did in 2020, they were just linking up neurons in your brain to certain things. They were just letting you know that they were tying in a manipulated past, doing a little live update Mandela effect right there. I mean, because the writer of the history books isn't who won the war, it's who sits in the now writing the history books, right? And selling it to the people. I mean, that's the real person that's manipulating, not the one who was way back when. I mean, it's just a series of manipulators manipulating and manipulating one another's manipulation, just hiding each other's lie over and over and over and pretending that they're the savior each time.
Right.
When are we
Yeah.
all going to just fucking say we're done with this
Yeah.
shit?
Just walk
That
away.
no individual person can lead any group of people, and that we all need to collectively lead ourselves.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. One step at a time.
I know it, man. It's coming. I'm gonna chug
so,
some of this water real quick, man.
um, so we got
So the
13.
vibes, man, the vibes have been nuts, though.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
Tell me about your
you-
vibes.
just, I don't know, like I said,
I
being
feel you.
tested, lots of tests,
Mm,
lots of, like, we're gonna see where you're at, Peter.
yeah,
Like
yeah. That's
we're gonna
been
see how you're doing in there. See what you've learned.
yeah. Some of the
Are we at the same
astrologers.
spot?
Yeah, some of the astrologers said that this was going to be potentially a retest for esoterically speaking for us in a way. And I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
Sort of a
yeah, I
test to
can see
see
that.
where you are. Are you progressing? Are you going to have to do this test again? I don't. I have no clue what the test is. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
feel
think
like it's a well. Let's look where they are.
okay.
Uranus and Saturn, right? We've got right now we've got Saturn Capricorn. We've got Uranus and Taurus. Those are
Mm,
huge Earths. So we're looking at a big property, land, matter, your possessions, belongings. These are what they're attacking. So look at the rent crisis. Look at the eviction stuff. I mean, this square we're seeing in the heavens, it's a slow square. These are two slow moving generative bodies. So you see them for a longer period of time. Anyways, So you're looking at, what do you keep, right? What do you think you were supposed to keep? We're going to remeasure that. We're going to go back to the things, because Saturn is things you keep and Uranus is change. So here in a 90-degree angle is matter again. Is challenge, is butting heads. You've got something going this way and you've got something going this way. Something's going to have to give. You're either going to grow or decay. That's what that
Oh
that
man.
that that's what that fucking thing is, man.
Can
And
I
you
share
guess what?
something with you?
Go for it, man.
So, you know, I like to write little images and draw little images and stuff like that. It's cool that you just said
Yeah.
that. I wrote one the other day, and it's sort of a specific way to look at it, but it's a. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Uh, yeah, I wrote it down. Thank goodness. All right, cool. It says, "Are you gonna glow? Are you gonna glow and grow, or stink and sink?" Sort of
Wow, that's
motivation.
really cool, man. How fucking, like,
Mm,
how divine is that? I
mm-hmm.
mean, think of stink and sinking down,
Right.
where we are and how stuff grows. I mean, that's, if your shit don't stink, nothing's growing in there, man. Like, you better, and that's a fact in so many ways. Like, I'm not saying you need to have stinky farts. I mean, it just so happens, I probably do. But I'm just saying that, like, humbly too, like, if your shit doesn't stink, like, you can't walk around this place like that. I mean, we all have to know that we are doing massive amounts of work on soulful, spiritual things. I mean, this is a humbling place. I mean, this is where Billy Badass over in spiritual world, comes to put himself in check when he thought, he was the king of everything and he's got it all figured out. This is where you go.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very humbling place, and your shit better stink. Tell you that. You better have some dirt on you. Like, you don't want to think that you rolled it perfectly and that you ended up as because here's the thing, you want to go through the black. You want to tame that. You want to have that with you at your side, calmed down. You want to be able to, that's the most powerful seed, is the one that's been through, that's been tempted, that's seen it all, that's been through everything. And then that way, when it comes back around, because remember, we're just packing a seed, we're packing a blueprint here with our choices, our desires. This is all
Packing a
light
hole.
language, light codes. This is all ethereal. It's not what you think. So when you go to actually take the seed that because this is all you did, you're going 72, 80 years, whatever, and you've now got a seed in your pocket. You're going to take that seed and you're going to go to put it in its environment where it can actually grow for real. And then when real shit come at that, you're going to be good to go, because you're going to know that, oh, hey, whoa, I'm not putting that in me, because last time I put that shit in me, all this shit happened. And you know what? I just don't enjoy that happening anymore. And I actually feel quite a bit better with it not in me. So I'm just going to keep it at that. Just pure feeling. That's the
Mm.
fixed cross, is feeling. If you just go by what feels right, that's pretty much like 99% of it. I mean, you shouldn't be thinking like raping little children feels right, though. It's not quite,
Yeah.
it's what feels right. I mean, there's a fine line, but I mean, if you have an honest soul in there, if you have a decent moral system that has the ability to be swayed, that, I mean, it's going to come down to compassion. If you have the ability to be compassionately excited, if you feel bad for, somebody when something happens and your heart kind of like aches a little bit for them and you want them to like be better, that's a good inner feeling, and that is something that is, you should be proud that you have naturally in you. But
Yeah.
if you want to see people, like even your most worst enemies, if you want to see them like have very bad experiences and you wish ill upon them, that is not something you should be proud of at all, that you carry with you.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean,
Black
I mean,
magic's heavy.
even
You
your
got to be
enemies,
careful with
like,
that, man. Like,
That's It's real magic, man. Yeah, don't mess around with intent. I mean, thoughts are real things. Like feelings are real things. Your desire, your lust, all those are real things that are masked here in sound. You can't see the real light qualities of them. You can only see the slow sound bodies that are around you. So you've got to be able to decipher. You've got to be able to interpret the image. You've got to take what's in sound and you've got to break it back down to where it came from, that light center.
Hmm.
What,
Hmm.
dude? Oh, what?
Interesting.
Oh, you do? Oh, Amy just told me I got the animal cards out here. She's got the snake card. So,
Ooh,
yeah, she drew the snake card yesterday.
appropriate.
And she told me that that's the most powerful medicine card. Yeah. In space and in terms of creation. Which is, the S, the sine wave, the
Right.
sex, the six. I mean that's Jupiter, that astral nature. We're back at it again. I mean, it's sex six hex, that hexagon, that hexagonal shape, that same hexagonal structure, that chlorophyll, that our blood, what's the hemoglobins and
Hmm.
chlorophyll, they match. They're a fractal of each other. They're an overlay of each other. One has this type of functioning, the other has this type of functioning, but they're from the same hexagonal core structure, which really shows me that the plant kingdom, chlorophyll, that hexagonal structure, it's a good match. It's a very nice match with our internal systems. I'm not saying don't eat meat and all that shit. That's just one of those things I've discovered where, hey, I enjoy my feelings inside of me without meat in me versus, with it in me. And that's why I choose what I choose today. Even
Hmm.
morally, I don't even look at it like that where, I love animals to death. Like I really do. But
Yeah.
I have such a high authority for a trust in the divine plan that, even when little animals pass and I see them on the side of the road, I know that it's all meant to be. I know that, the scavenger kingdom and the vultures and the condors and the ravens and the crows, they pretty much are just as benevolent gifts too. And, they wouldn't have a job to do if, there wasn't death and decay here.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, I have a high respect there. Absolutely. But
Um.
yeah, it's mellowing out though, Todd, on the vibes thing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
kind
good.
of,
I feel that too. Yeah.
we're at a Jupiter Sun trine too, so we've
Okay.
just went through that. So we're going to be working into, and this is an important time where people should pay attention. So when you go from 120 degrees, because right now it went from the 90 was tough. The Jupiter Sun, I remember the Jupiter Sun 90-degree spread was a little bit. I felt that inside. I felt challenge. Just, I felt that once again, that square. Okay, Jupiter, my feel good things are getting squared. All the things that I typically reach to for comfort, and you know what? I lost a lot of inspiration. If you look back on those episodes around that time, I didn't have a ton of like automatic shit just flowing through me like I do all the time. It was
Yeah.
a very but I enjoyed it, I took it for some of the Mercury retrograde too, but I think it was a lot of the Jupiter square sun. It
Mm.
slowed my thought body down inside. It slowed
The
that magnetic
vacation.
pull in. It kind of calmed it. And it is nice. You need that. You really do. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah, dude. I
yeah,
can't
man.
do like I think I said before, but I do like really big readings on like some big transitional days or whatever. I'll do like like 5 decks or something and just read what the energy's like, and
Nice.
that sets you
That's
up for like
cool.
a week or two. It's a lot. It's a big
No, it really
download.
does. That's a good way to do it, Todd, is just to take a node and then use that
Yeah.
node to just kind of like I'm gonna just rip you apart and read everything about you right now.
It's twofold
Yeah,
for
like
me. It's one, the primary is to learn because I'm still learning all the symbols and such. But
Oh,
Like
sure, sure. Me
it's
too.
great like insight. Yeah, I mean it's infinite, but
It
it's
really is,
fun,
man.
Yeah,
It is. That's the
that's
beauty of it, man, is symbols are an infinite
oh yeah,
nature, right?
yeah.
Like there's not gonna be an end to, hey guys, you've reached the last symbol here. Nope.
Yeah, right. I know,
Never
right?
gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what's awesome
I
about
was
it.
gonna tell you real quick, Todd.
Do
I
it.
forgot to mention we're coming out of the trine, the
Okay.
Jupiter Sun trine. We're gonna be working to the quincunx, the
Ooh,
inconjunct, the 150-degree rarest angle of them all.
that's called the
There's only
quincunx.
Yeah, it's 150 degrees to the sun. So when Jupiter hits this area, it's the rarest. You're gonna see the rarest things, the things that you don't see through the year. You're gonna see them around this time. You're gonna see the things that are odd, that are
Awesome.
very rare,
That's
which
us.
contain pockets of wisdom. If you think about it, you get rare opportunities to see these things. So it's best to get good eyes. It's best to be very observant around that time. I'd say right around 146 degrees to the sun coming out of that trine. Once we get past the semi square or whatever there, the 90 plus 45, which is a square and a half, which is um, and that's going to be the 3/4 square. So you're going to be going into completion. You're going to be putting this thing into matter on the next
Mm.
90 degrees right here. And
Oof,
if you look
nice.
at it, 15 degrees in on that swing puts you right at the 150 mark, and it only leaves 75 degrees remaining, which is also 3/4 of 100, of course. So it's a nice rare spot where everything butts heads and rare things pop out. So you get different positive versus negative,
Interesting.
horizon versus underneath, air, a different, unlike elements, unlike modes, unlike polarities, and unlike above horizon versus below, unlike left versus right. They're all combined. It's the only single spot. And this is why. This is exactly why at 150 degrees, you get the pure. You get Virgo popping in right after Leo. Remember what Leo likes to do. Leo likes to play all the parts. He likes to be in that spotlight. But once Virgo gets on scene, she's got the real child inside. She's got that pure in her. Right there at that 150. It's where, and she's the holder. It's the black that holds the crystal. It's got everything inside of it because in the end, you only have, I mean, we're in the realm of everything, so everything's fair game here. So, and it is Pandora. Pandora's box is a crystal ball,
Right.
absolutely. And how do you let light out of a ball? You know what I mean? How do you, and who, however you arrange your light, how do you? It's not, you're making your choice right now. When you go to be off into your light body, you will behave how light behaves in a crystal at the spectrum you've built. So this is your opportunity to work through all of your light codes that you have in you and all of your shadow codes. And everything in there is going to help you manifest what you're going to be, where you're going to project to, what you're going to generate. You're going to have a generation from a shadow, a form, and you're going to have a projection of light. So you're going to have your own freaking Earth system and your own star system. You've got your spread going up where you're going to be grounding into the sky, which is exactly what each star is. It's just a fire node in the air. That's all that. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Those are reflection nodes. The Bach Saga tells us it's either ice, which would reflect light, gas, which would reflect light, or metal, which would reflect light. Water absorbs light, earth absorbs light. You wouldn't see those things looking out. So if they tell you that they found another earth out there, or an earth like thing, or a place that can hold a human life, no. If it doesn't have plants, it's not a planet.
Yeah.
So it's got to be able to absorb light. It needs to be a black hole. It needs to eat light. That's where we live. We are black holes as a soul. So you don't go to a place without soul food to be a soul. I mean, that's just fucking retarded for them to look out at reflection images in the sky in the electric nature and tell us that that's where we can live next. That's just horse rubbish. I mean, all of it is. You can live there in a light body, but people don't care about that right now. They care about their elbow. They care about their wrist that just got broken. They
Mm,
care, they all their physical body, their soul, their soul wears the physical body. So your soul cares about your physical body. Your spirit cares about your soul and your physical body.
mm,
Your soul cares about your spirit too, but it's kind of entrusted to not look back and just to keep working, one of
mm,
those deals. If you
mm.
peek back though, it's kind of like the Sarah when she looked back. You get turned to stone by Medusa there. The petrification.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
one of those don't look back things there, but and it's because Sarah should be Sharon. She should be, not Sharon like the name Sharon, but she should be sharing, you know, her awe. Share the awe. Awe is time. It's that's what we should be sharing. That's why they kept us all coveted and 6 feet apart and all that dumb shit, is so we couldn't share our time with each other. So we couldn't bring ourselves in each other's fields and rejuvenate each other's fields. I mean, you've seen, I think, probably the pictures of some of like those tree work energies where you stand next to a tree and the tree's field grounds in you, and there's just many different ways to work with the field of a tree.
Right. Six
Same
feet
thing
is
with
supposed to be the
humans.
heart or the heart field. So 6 feet is like one of the more denser fields around your with your aura. So like that's why they don't want you near anybody because then you can't
Oh, that's
connect.
interesting,
That's why you
Todd.
can't connect
That's
to anybody.
that's your heartwood, man. That's your
Yeah,
freaking
exactly.
heartwood.
Yeah, it's like if you're close to somebody or you hug people, like you have a genuine connection. But if you know,
And
stay
that's why
apart,
people feel weird when people are in their bubble too. Like,
yep,
how some
yeah,
people
you're
have a
basically
natural, like, you're just a touch close to me. I mean,
yeah,
and
you're
that's,
building your
I'm not
firmament.
mad, but can you just move?
Yeah, some people don't have the awareness to feel those barriers. But now you have
That's
people that are
weird.
over feeling the barriers, and now they're gonna create
Yeah.
firmaments for themselves with being
Wow.
close
That's
to
true,
people
Todd.
because you're training your body or you're training your existence, whatever.
You're an all
To
powerful creator. Yeah.
yeah, you shouldn't
I
be
mean,
listening to the
what did you think
warlocks.
would
Yeah,
happen?
yeah. Well, it's a thing.
Yeah,
It's a trap, because the propaganda has been going on a long time, so it's just training psychology. I mean, it's
and firmament sounds kind of
weak shit.
scary. Like sounds
Yeah,
like the bone, like firm. Like you'd want a fluid
yeah,
mint because
yeah.
the Christ is a 33, is
You,
fluidic as water.
you want it
Is
to be
movement.
light.
Right,
Light, light,
right.
light.
Your stillness sits there in the middle as it wears the body of movement, and what it does is it keeps going around it like in a circle,
Right.
and it pretty much feeds it this electricity, or the nature of the movement gives it this life, and it animates it, brings it to life.
You know,
So it's almost like that zodiac, the 12 going around the one to make the 13 give the life, which is why they call it the unlucky floor, unlucky number, because they don't want you knowing about the 13, of course.
right. You know about the Tibetan five rites, right?
But no, tell me more.
Okay, so Tibetan five rites are a series of essentially, I call it yoga just to keep it simple, so I don't always have to explain it. But since we haven't talked about this, it's a series of rites that are supposedly by the Tibetan monks or whatever. They're very
Okay.
simple. There's five of them, and there's six of them, but the sixth one's for preventing or reducing your sex drive a little bit. But anyway, so the
Okay.
first one is you
The sixth
literally spin
one
it.
was?
I'm sorry.
You said the sixth one was reducing the sex drive?
It's to keep control of it. I'll explain in a second.
Yeah.
But
And that matches up with the sixth sex. That's neat.
yeah, so the five rights are very easy. The first one is literally spinning in a circle. Um, and what I always
Okay.
tell people is so the objective of these is that they are very good for your back, your spine. Like it basically strengthens your spine. I was having
Which is the black sun.
right. And so the first one you literally spin, and then the other ones are like stretches that are all about work building up your spine. Now, I think what's really cool about all of this, because I've been doing
That's
it for like
interesting.
3 years now, And I always tell people just try it for like a week, like a few days, just do 3 reps. That's it. 3 reps of each. I
Right.
guarantee in a week you will have improvements in your back. You're going to feel more limber. And that it takes less than 5 minutes to do 3 of them. And they're very simple.
Wow. Tell
But
me, okay, so one is how many times do you turn around?
So that would be the rep, right? So if let's say you're just doing 3 reps, right? You would do 3 of the spins, and you put your arms out. I also have it on the screen.
Do you go clockwise or do you go
Yep,
counter?
you're supposed to go clockwise. Now, what I want to stress,
Clockwise, like the plant.
because exactly, just like you're talking about, well, we're talking about growing and we're talking about all that spinning. But now that I spin, so I can basically
Yeah.
feel my aura is always. I can feel it spinning, like it's always. But it's like I also, because I've been doing this for years now, I can feel the control I have over that in, I guess you could say it's the
Wow.
astral plane, where I can basically create my own light body, and I can feel it and like
Wow.
be it in it while I'm also here. And I really
So it's
recommend
almost
these.
like you put the intention in the beginning and you start manifesting it and then all of a sudden you just kind of start noticing it's there all the time. That's
Yeah, I feel it essentially, and it's like it's a good feeling. Like you know those videos of like the lights, like the UFOs, right? They look like just orbs of light that kind of hover around. You know that?
yeah.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I think. Those are just the monks flying around. I'm not kidding you. I think that's what they are. And because like if
That's
I
could
imagine if you
be.
did this every day, because I've done up to 21 reps a day, which is, it takes a while to get to that. It's pretty difficult. Um, for me, I don't know. I mean, other people probably no problem, but but yeah, when you do it and you try it, you not only that, but like I have my balance got way better, and your spine is gonna feel amazing. And like I might be actually a
That's
little
key.
bit taller, which is interesting. I feel slightly taller because I'm stretching out the whole thing. Um,
I was
and
gonna say, did you get taller, Todd?
I might be a little taller. I'll tell you, when combined with like psychedelics, though, when you do get tall, so to speak, like it's like you like my head will be like at the ceiling or something like that. I
That's neat.
highly recommend these exercises, especially if you're my age in your 30s, and if you like have like, oh, my back hurts. Like you should be doing stretches for your back. You should not be 30 and have
Yeah.
back pain. Like
Right,
we need to
right.
take care of that, because that affects the whole system of beings here. So
The spine is very important to stretch. I've been doing so much upper spine work where my spine connects to my freaking brain right there in my neck.
yeah.
Like that's where the caduceus staff where
Yep.
the two snakes go up. Well, what they do is they intertwine, they go up and they spike into the outside of this crystal ball that's in your neck, okay?
Hmm.
And those are the only two spikes that you should have in there. Really what happens is the rest of your body spikes into that crystal ball because it's oily and it's electric and it's a grounding nature. So you're doing that through your desire system. This is how you tense up, you through anxiety, stress, it all goes right to the back of your neck. It's a spider web. It just starts forming. So you have to destroy this spider's web. Spiders come not weaving here. So how you do this is by intense fucking upper neck work through. I'm on into year 2 now. And like you said, I can feel like some of the pops I've had through the years, and it's like a constant ripping and tearing, like I'm breaking them away, and it becomes more centered and balanced and free. Like it feels weightless. Like
Yeah.
before, where I could feel my neck, I just can't feel it anymore, and it's completely weightless.
Hmm.
And I can you can freaking turn around like an owl. I mean, it's weird, man.
Cool. I saw some
It's
owls the
weird.
other day, man. They were cool.
This crystal ball though that I'm talking about in your neck,
Yeah.
uh, so it connects to the brain by inside of the crystal ball. So on the outside, you get the caduceus, two snakes, the only which come from your generative sacrum area. That's where you should be generating from, right in your center. And then that should go up through your solar plexus and get colored. That should then go through the heart and gain compassion. And then this should go straight to the mind. And this is what directs you. And so pretty much that's why you don't want all the side winders spiking in everywhere. You want all your bandwidth dedicated to that main central tap in line source, so you have a lot of power source to pretty much operate from.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you've got like a few going out here and there. You want your hands, arms, legs, all that shit to tap in through your main source. You don't want them tapping in separately, going around the main wire. You want the main wire feeding to them. They're trying to go around the main wire and tap in, and you need to stop that activity. That's Leviathan. That's the chains right there. Those are the chains you break. Chain and ball, remember? That's it right there. The chain and ball, it's attaching to your crystal ball, and it makes it black. That's why what happens when we solve this thing, the whole system's going to freaking burst. You're not going to see the black like you see now. It's going to become more free and free. What we call stars are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger until it's all one field of that light. And then that's when this whole thing changes, of course. But that I was going
Yeah.
to tell you, it connects to the brain by coming from inside the crystal ball and going up into one stream. So this is, you've got two going into the outside and one coming from the inside. The one coming from the inside goes right up to the brain, and axis and atlas are the top two bones of the spine that hold this right there. And you pretty much start to get what this does is when you rip these away, it allows a hole in your corpus callosum to start widening and opening, which allows more oil to flow down the spine to feed the
Mm.
generative area down there. And then this is also feeding like a little bone knob right up. It's your pineal gland that sits in the center spot of your brain. So this is going to actually connect to that system right there. It's a beeline right to that spot. So
Wow.
a lot of us aren't connected. Like if your third eye's opened, that's it's a different it's a complete it's an unbroken eye. Okay, they've got us like the lowercase I right now with the bar, the space, and the dot. We're looking for that capital I beam, cap it all, right? You want to, Capricorn, Saturn, Kether, Saturn on the crown, ruling the crown. It's the Capricorn capital system. It's the capstone on the pyramid. It's unseen, right? It's that infrared system right there that gets connected once you have your whole I beam connected. The Thor. You can see farther at that point. But yeah, so that's why that makes sense. What are your Todd? Tell me the other four. You said step one was the spin. What else you got?
Okay, well, they were on stream too, but I will tell you. So the second one is you lay down on your back. One thing that's important too is, and maybe not that this is actually recommended, but I do it just for myself, is I face the northern direction. Um,
I think that's
uh-oh, you might be breaking up, dude.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So you lay on your back, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to lift your legs up. Try to keep them straight as you can. Obviously, it takes a while to get used to it if you've never done it. And then you're also gonna try to lift your head up at the same time.
Wait. 90-degree angle straight up on your legs,
Yeah, you want to bring your
or straight
legs.
out, like 6 inches off the ground.
Hold on, I'll show you a picture. You want to lift them back as far as you can. Like you're basically that's stretching the lower part of your spine. So,
Oh,
and the upper part of your spine because your neck's coming forward at the same time.
I see. Okay.
So one sec,
Okay.
I'll share a picture with you. I'll help
So
you.
no bend in your knees. Yep.
I mean, don't fret that.
Yeah,
Focus
yeah.
on your spine. Yeah. Here we go. Here's a cool picture.
So, and that's step two, and that's after you're standing up doing like some spins, right? Like 3 spins or so. If you're going to do
Yep.
three
So
sets.
so let's say you're gonna do 3 reps. Yep. You would start with the spins. And then oh well, it's in Spanish, but that's okay. If you
Oh,
take a look,
cool.
you'll see it's also got the chakras, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So and then these are color coded in terms of the steps. So step one is blue. You're gonna spin in a circle. Oops. Let me switch the camera for everybody.
Oh, I see. Step two is orange there. Yeah. I'm going to try this. Because
Yeah,
I think spine work is some of the most important stuff that we can be doing. That's your
yeah,
central nervous system, your black sun. That controls everything right
yeah.
there.
In less than 5 minutes, even just doing 3 reps will help you if you do it every day. They do stress if you're overweight to do it with caution. I say this: if you feel something that really hurts, just stop, take a break, try it again later. Don't hurt yourself, cause like if you
Yeah,
mess
yeah,
around with
yeah.
your
You can get a
spine,
pinch.
yeah, I've had a couple pinches because just got careless and they hurt a lot. So I definitely stress just take it slow. Do 3 reps. I'll do 1 rep if you want, but like 3 reps takes like
Yeah.
3 minutes, and you'll if you do it for a week, I guarantee you will feel it. It's nice. And then what I
Do you
do.
hold them for a little while? Do you just kind of hold them for a little
Yeah,
bit?
it's really up to you. So one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
main things, if you're gonna if you wanna be like pro about this, you would focus heavily on how you're breathing. In the one video I shared on the stream, you'll see they talk about breathing. So you may want to do an in or an
Breathing would
out.
be really important. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll feel the effects too of how that works, like based on you know, if you're breathing in on the this and you're breathing out. So you'll start to feel it. You basically start to feel more of your body, which I think is the best way to describe it. Probably because you're strengthening your nervous system, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. It's key, man. I mean, because I feel like a lot of us we have a lot of breaks in these areas in our body. I mean, that's your main core. I mean, that's your straight shot, right? I mean, that's your one right there, your number one system. You've got your 11 down below, your two legs down below, and 1 plus 11 gives you that 12 right there. So it's like we're the sine wave. We're a manifestation of the 12 here in the 13. Our goal, Valhalla, is to be the 13. You want to be a real particle. Like we're just still practicing. We're that sine wave. We're learning to see if our choices, if what we built is something that matters, if there's something, I mean, something new under the sun per se. Is this worth putting into the 13? Are we going to take this out of Pandora's box, or should we leave it in there next to hope? Keep hope company. Hope floats, right? If hope was the only thing left in Pandora's box and hope floats, what does that tell us?
That's good.
Upside down?
Hmm.
Because things in a box sit at the bottom here,
Right.
but and they tell us Jupiter's hung upside down, which is like a gas nature hung upside down, which hung means it's connected to a tether, which means how do you hang a gas bubble upside down? I mean, that's kind of weird. Would you give it weight? Would you give it a that's what they did, huh? They
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
if you look at the gas lines, the gas magnetic grid, the argon gas is where the rivers and shit all are. So argon is the densest gas, and that's the green neutral gas, I guess. And then everything kind of flows off. It has a left and right nature off that. So you've got the right noble gases and the left noble gases off the argon right there. And pretty much Argon is the Argonauts, right? Jason and the Argonauts, Jupiter and the Argonauts. So that's probably what's happening. Jupiter touched down upside down with a dense gas. And argon is R is arc, G is inside, on is on something. So you're inside on something arcing. You're a sine wave going around something. So yeah, man.
Sounds like late. Yeah. Hmm.
Yep. That's
That's
it, brother.
awesome. Hmm.
Let me see here. You want to get into some of those pictures real quick?
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah.
what I posted.
Let's talk about
Tell me
this.
which.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about this
you tell me which
cool.
one you want to look at.
Yeah, let's look at this sun one. It's the blue. It's got the red castles, and the golden sun is just epic.
See.
So
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we've got the golden rays from the crystal ball right here. I just like this medieval one, how it shows you the nature of the horizon pretty much of the sun itself. So or of Lu itself. So it's got its rays that come down always come down in a triangular fashion, right? Everything we receive is in a triangular form, which is why we receive fire and why fire is the symbol that it is. So and if you notice here, all the rays down are visible all the way through, but the rays that are above, they're not visible. So it's showing you that they don't have anything to ground to there in the air. So the air has to be taken into a body, into the earth, before it can absorb the light. So that's kind of why I like that one there. But I also thought it might have shown how the straight lines that are coming down from the black sun connect to the geometry of the grid of where they lay things out, where they choose to put the steeples, and it's all one big sun moon system. They're taking the sine wave and they're making a city grid so they can manifest the certain frequencies all through every capitol building is a sun building. Every big court building's the moon building.
Yeah. They kind of manifest it through the people, though. Yeah.
It is too. Yeah, that's what people are. They're battery packs. They're silica. So we're giant silica energy things. So imagine taking a bunch of people, putting them in cars, rubber wheels. So you're locking all the electricity in the metal car, and then driving them on a highway past each other with 6 lanes each, and then putting big limestone buildings right next to the highways right there. They're just absorbing our energy is all they're doing. Same thing with all the apartment stacks. Those are just battery packs right there. That's all they're doing with those people. They keep them in a certain left, right, because your left and right is where you get the most energy. That's where, because you're breaking it down, you're snapping it and you're getting this burst of energy on the extremes is what they're doing. So what do you, because that calm center doesn't give up its energy.
Right.
That one right above it there, tell me which one you're going to do next. The one above?
Sure. One above. Shit. Look.
Same. This one shows us the black sun with Lu as an orb off of it, or it actually looks like Saturn. Could show the nature of Saturn sitting in the crystal ball and providing the golden eye, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you see that one?
I think we're looking at that one. It's got the.
It's looking like a tarot card.
Yeah. Oh, the gold.
Well, no, it says figure 23 at the top of the card.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
Okay, same one. Yeah, I thought this one was neat because it had the kind of a black sun with gold rays coming off with some infrared, which gives you a little orange. It shows you the nature of orange, which is the infrared and the gold,
and
which is the iron. It is in a curtain, iron curtain. Then iron, and the curtain's red like iron. And you've got Saturn in the clear orb, so Saturn's probably the crystal ball, the silica crystal giant ball. Then you've got the other orbs are there too, and those are just bubbles from the bubbles in the freaking sun, man.
Right.
Those are impurities that it can see. So really, that golden orbs just lit up the area, and all these things became visible. And
yeah,
then
it's amazing craftsmanship too, man. To like, what this is probably from the 1800s, and it's like, it always blows my mind to see this because I make things, and just to do this, like, either they were so good at drawing, or they had, their tricks were just.
Look at the firmament. Look what they did. They took bubbles like clouds, and they made them like little bubble orbs with stars on them.
Yeah.
So you're looking at bubbles tips. Like you're looking at the surface of bubbles out there when you look at the stars. Those are all bubble orbs of influence, and you're only seeing the sheen off the tip of them.
I love that word.
Which is pretty neat.
It's a good word. Sheen.
Machine. It's a machine.
Good.
Speaking of machine, do that next one up, the light machine there. I think, see the fireplace with the light in it? I think these are what fireplaces are really supposed to be.
Oh yeah. Do you know, that makes sense? All right, cool. So so then the fireplaces they're probably just teleportation doors, right?
They probably are, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
These are heat generation centers, or like you said, doors for things. But I think how they got this to work.
Clever.
I think they used mirrors up on top of the chimneys, which would have been pretty easy to remove. But I think they had a mirror system, a prism system up there,
What about
and it pretty much
Mercury in some way? Would Mercury be able
Merc.
to?
Ooh,
Because
yeah, Mercury.
you could basically create an entirely different form based on whatever the Mercury vessel would be in. You know what I mean?
Right,
So you could
right.
create all types of forms based on the reflection too. That'd be really trippy.
That would be really trippy.
Probably impractical.
All right,
Go on.
all right. Next one up. This one I really want to show people. It's got the red and green. It's just a simple symbol. The orbs with green in the center, then a red circle, then a blue circle with the two golden.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it.
Okay. This is the Iron Curtain, Iron Center with the green life in the middle. So it shows you our infrared sun right there, Mars. And then you see the Jupiter sun, the Lu, making the water, the Christ, the movement on the outside of the Iron Earth, the Iron Throne, which is the pretty much the. And if you think, I got green eyes, man.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
Green eyes are kind of
Nice.
neat. But,
Yeah. Wow.
and then when I smoke, they get a little red on the outside right there.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um,
Mine are blue and
but
they turn green sometimes, and sometimes they turn a little purple.
mine go from like green to brown to golden. Those three colors right
Wow.
there, they love.
Yeah, I had golden for a
Um,
while. That was interesting. Go ahead.
yeah, this is our system right here, man. See the swirls on the sun too? How it's got like a like movement right there, and
Yeah.
then the other one doesn't have that. It's got firmness, so there's no movement inside that. It's stillness right there. And that's heat generation. So it's absorbing all the water, all the Jupiter Lu forces right there. And
Mm.
that's pretty much Mars and Jupiter you're looking at.
I like the sun's a reverse spiral too. That's interesting. And it looks like a
Right,
cymatic.
right. It
Yeah.
does look like a cymatic thing. Absolutely, it
What was
does.
that? What's that
Yeah, that's a
tool we talked about before?
sonoscope.
Yeah,
A sonoscope.
it looks like this thing, that it's like a metal thing and it looks like claws almost on both ends, but then we found they have four-ended ones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the Vulcan
Yeah.
Thunderbolt thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that. Um
That's cool.
Next one up, if you I'm just scrolling up in the delineation channel.
Oh, okay.
I've got 13. So this shows you the 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 12 around the center of the one. So if you count the dots, you've got 13 total. Um, the one in the middle is risen up. So this is what's on the altar. This is the
Mm.
sacrifice right here. And it's got, you can almost see a sheriff badge right there. And you share,
Yeah.
and look at that word, you share F, you share Jupiter.
Mm.
So it's, and that's the hex, the sex, which we're supposed to be sharing the sex. I mean, that doesn't mean like multiple partners and shit. It means like sharing time,
Are you sure?
creation. Yeah, man. I got a lot of freaking strippers and prostitutes that listen in. So, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. We're all strips of Earth. Yeah.
True. True.
Yeah, and we're all prosthetics. So, let's see. Next one up. I didn't know what this was. I know it's some kind of alchemy thing with a donkey up top. I'm gonna figure this
Okay.
out. It's got some interesting things with the orbs. Different colors are
I
there
think
for the
ratios,
symbolism.
man. Looks like it's about ratios.
It does look like
It also
ratios
looks like a
too. I
battery.
see
Yeah.
symbols. It
Yeah.
looks like a battery. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Schematic for
man.
sure.
There's someone's gonna figure this out. Maybe
Yeah.
Josh, man. He's good with this stuff.
Yeah.
But you got a Vesica Pisces circles too, and
Yeah.
then you've got a dome. Then you've got, I like the red and the green as Mars right there. The red circle with the green rays. I like the pink with the blue rays down as Venus next to Mars over there in the far left. And then I like Sol Sun as the other one pointing down with red rays. The black sun points up and down. It's got black rays going above and below. So you've got the two main prime meridian and the horizon of the galaxy or of the universe right there, the black lines. Then Jupiter blue with the up with the double blue. And then you've got, of course, all that water below with what looks like thermometers or, oh, they're glasses. It's like glass jugs. They're like beakers with,
Yeah. Yeah. They look like
they all got the
thermometers.
same level, but they have different things inside of them. It looks like there's different symbols going on. So,
Yeah, alchemy for
with
sure.
the donkey attached to like a moon type thing up top, so it's very alchemical. If anybody knows what's going on there.
That's work. That's definitely something working because it looks like he's supposed to be spinning uh,
Yeah, he's going
whatever that
around,
is.
and then there's
Spinning
an
the
arrow
earth, the
down.
green, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's an arrow down. That might be the sun right there with the yellow, blue, the thing the donkey's spinning.
The sun's right
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
right with the on between the Vesica Pisces and the green orb. You see the sun symbol?
yeah. See, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got the sun symbol right underneath. So that is the sun symbol. We were right the first time there.
Yeah.
Um, so that is really neat, man. Yeah, because the sun wouldn't. Those two Vesica Pisces ones with the all blacks are like, bigger things. Those are more primal. And
Mm.
there's a shadow of the donkey too.
Yeah,
You can
right.
see. You see those feet
Yeah, that's wild.
sitting out? That's weird with a line on it.
I wonder if it's
That's
printed
weird.
on the back, maybe. It also
Yeah, it's
seems like
gotta be.
it seems like there should be another page, right, based on the right side of it.
Oh, you're
With
right.
there's
You're right.
probably another
Yeah, like it
page in this
connect.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because I don't see the outer planets either. Yeah, and you know what? You can see Jupiter as the fish symbol with the double blue one right there, and the nine. Look at that. And the nine is the six upside down, which would be the sex Jupiter upside down. That's definitely Jupiter, which is right next to the sun, which is right next to Mars, which is next to Venus. That's neat.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
puts Earth. Yeah, man.
Earth is the
All right, moving
donkey.
on. The donkey's neat. Yeah, the dawn key, right? The morning
Donkey.
could be the Lucifer system. Yep.
Probably. Yeah,
We've
nice.
got, I found this old birth chart, and I thought this was neat because on this guy's birth chart, it had the year 357 Antichrist. So they had they had the,
Antichristy.
instead of Anno Domini or after death, they had AC for Antichrist, which was kind of interesting.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we're in the Antichrist era right now, where they knew this was the false paradigm coming up, and they labeled it early on, but then they hid it. They called it after the death or
Mm,
something, or Anno Domini, the domino effect. I
mm.
don't know. Pretty neat one.
It's
We'll
cool.
skip the next one. It's a lot going on. Then we got
Yeah, really.
this. I'm
Zodiac.
still trying to figure this one out. The gut, the middle, and the bob. These are a cardinal, a fixed, and a mutable, typically division, because if you're going to divide things out into a trinity form like that, that's taking the 12 and it's put them in the modes. But if you look down, the modes don't have all the typical things in them. For example, in the middle, we'd have metal, I think, but you have Scorpio, which is fixed, what we call fixed, and then you have Cancer up top, which is fixed. Oh, so those are all the water signs. That's what they're doing. So they're showing water, they're showing air. Yep. And then they're showing, well, hold on here. What do we do? So we've got, three waters are in the middle. You've got Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. But then you've got Virgo?
Yeah.
And then on the Bob one, you've got Taurus for Earth, Capricorn for Earth, Gemini for air, and then looks like Leo for fire. And then you've got on the gut, looks like Aries the ram for fire, Libra for air, Sagittarius for fire, Aquarius for air. So this is definitely a neat chart. And then
Hmm.
you've got Aquarius, like if you just take a row, let's look at the bottom one, Aquarius, Pisces, Leo, right? I mean, that's not the most obvious string. Neither is Aries, Scorpio, Taurus.
Hmm.
Maybe these are the 150 conjuncts on the middle here. Something's going on this one. I'm sure people have some ideas on that too.
Hmm.
But yeah, but what if you go diagonal? If you go Aries,
Yeah.
Scorpio, Gemini. Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
find anything here, man. This might have been too. We might be looking at our zodiac as very distorted, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
what they tell us. We could be looking at more of an original arrangement on the three modes. It's telling me here gut. Gut is very Jupiter, and I see Sagittarius is there for Jupiter, but then I see air, cardinal air, but then I see cardinal fire, and then I see fixed air. So I see two airs and two fires. So this is a very masculine male thing right there. There's only positive signs. And then I have only negative signs in the middle, which is going to be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and Virgo. Those are all negative earth and water. And then we have negative earth, positive air, positive fire. So the Bob one is two negatives and two positives, but all the middles are negatives and all the guts are positives. So the Bob has really the Leo, yeah, the two positives there, fire and air, and the two negative earth and water. Kind of this interesting, man. I don't know. I like it.
Like a magic square almost.
Yeah. I've got then the last couple up top. I had Saturn in the 12 signs of the zodiac. Its tilt or its angle. I thought that was a pretty neat one to
Yeah, that
show
is cool.
people.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that one a
I
lot.
was kind of looking for the spot. If you notice, it's in its most strength in Capricorn, and Capricorn, it's sitting in its. You can really see almost a vesica Pisces on the rings
Yeah.
there,
It's like
an
an eyeball.
eyeball. You can see it. It looks like an eye looking at us
That's
almost, and
Cancer
then it.
inverted.
Let me
Well, I'm
see.
sorry, it's not. It's Cancer
It could be.
mirrored, reflected,
It is
mirrored.
Cancer. Well, and then they
So
sit
is
opposite each
Gemini.
other.
Gemini's even
Oh
more. Wow,
wow!
that's a really
Look at
cool
that
object.
and that's eyes looking at you and eyes looking at you upside down.
Right?
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I draw a lot of
Be-
eyes. That's what I was
Because
thinking.
that's Cancer and Capricorn. That's the two opposites right there. They're opposite each other. Let's look
Yeah,
at
that's
opposite
awesome.
Aries. Opposite Aries is Libra. So yeah, okay, those are opposite each other too. Okay, yeah.
Wow, what a great
And then
image.
opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. Yep, those are sitting opposite. And look at the difference between Aries, Taurus, Gemini. See how it's kind of look at Gemini. That's a mean fucking eye. Look at that.
uh,
That
yes. Well,
that means
Gemini's can be mean.
dude,
I
that
bet
is
you could
the evil
argue.
eye right there. That's the
Ooh,
evil eye.
the
What's opposite
twins.
Gemini? That has to be the good eye. Opposite Gemini is going to be Sagittarius.
Yeah,
Let's find it.
yeah. Look at that.
That's
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
yeah.
What if we compare that with the image we just looked at? That's an interesting idea.
Oh yeah. With this with the
They're
Saturn
not the
stuff.
same, but it would be cool to see. Maybe I can make that later. Put the Saturn on top of
Okay,
these
so
ones.
there's
Look at
that
it that
first.
way.
I'm going to do the middle row. Cancer at the top, and then we've got
Here.
Scorpio. Okay, and then we've got Virgo. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at those three. And then we've got Pisces. It's a neat transition.
See,
That's tough, man.
which one's Aries,
Aries is the Rams up top, top left.
right? And
Then Libra is right down below it, opposite, the reflection of it.
oh yeah. Here.
So this is really showing us Saturn is really connected with it looks like when the signs are opposite, Saturn is opposite too. So Saturn is very much controlling that right there for sure. That's interesting. All right, you want
Well,
to get into some divination here, Todd? What do you think, bub?
yeah, sure we can.
Okay.
Wanna start us off?
That sounds good. Let's start with a medicine card today. I really like these are the animal cards. These are some of my favorite too. I like these because it really shows us our true nature here we're really the 12 still playing. We're trying to be the 13. We're trying to get our 13 ready. And then pretty much if you look at that, what's 12 plus 13? That's 25. That's a quarter. That's right. It is the red eye. It's the core
Oh wow.
Tor. The Tor is a mountain. So the 25 too is a 7. 2 plus 5. Yeah, that's why the Indians put the red there. That's a good call. It's the real infrared eye. It really is. It's the fucking Iron Curtain. It's got green in the middle. It really does. It's got a germination in the middle. It's that heat, that fire in the very center. So the
Oh.
so these movement cards are good for kind of, show us, we're early Gemini, show us what kind of movements maybe we can expect right now as let's look at mass consciousness. How is the world going to be moving? What's this summer going to look like here? What are we getting ourselves into? What kind of movements are people going to be looking at? So I'm going to pull that one and Blue Heron.
Oh.
Ooh, 45 card. I'm going to take a picture of the Blue Heron here. And let's see. And I think there's only like 50 something cards, 52 maybe. So this is up there on 45. It's a 9, so that shows you it's a true Jupiter. It's not a 6 upside down Jupiter. So a 9 is up, and then we've also got blue for Jupiter. Heron has her on in it. So her on is definitely where we're at this time of year, June 20th. We're right on top of her, the top of sense. And then it's blue. It's that whole sky astral sky father world right there. I'm gonna read. I've got the blue heron here on the medicine card. It tells us self-reflection is the card, which is perfect for what you should be using the sense system for. You should be using it for self-reflection to understand the self. Should give you more info towards the self based upon the image. All right, so we've got let's see. And a heron too is one eye away from heroin. So is it right? Heron. Yeah. So that's kind of neat too.
Weird.
Blue heron. Heron heron medicine is the power of knowing the self by discovering its gift and facing its challenges, which is very much this time with all these challenges. It is the ability to accept all feelings and opinions without denying any emotion or thought. Heron flies over those who are unaware of who they are and where they belong in the world. So that's showing you we're very unaware in the world as a mass conscious of who we are. So we got the heron flying overhead, gently dropping a blue feather to them. Heron asks that they follow their intuition and begin the empowering journey of self realization, right? The word intuition's got the third eye, 3 eyes in it. If the great blue heron has flown into your cards today, it is urging you to dive into the watery world of feelings to seek your truth. Heron teaches you to develop your self reflective skills so that you may come to know yourself in an intimate way. Looking at yourself through the filmy lens of self importance, the cloudy perceptions of low self worth, or the myopic eyes of self pity, you will never understand your true potential or appreciate the opportunities that appear. It just shows you where we're going. Cardinal water, Aquarius, the water bearer too, dumping out to Leo. It shows you it's dumping out a puddle of a reflection so you can see yourself in it. But you've got to get through all that murky stuff in order to see the true reflection, because that's what water does. It gives us a reflection. That's the gift of it. Heron asks what you examine yourself with a cold eye to see what you wish to improve and how you want to change. If you get stuck in the process, it may be a sign that you are being too hard or critical. Choosing to blame others and constantly pointing a finger at life situations instead of claiming responsibility for your actions shows that you lack the courage to face the enemy within. Heron medicine people are willing to look at themselves and see the truth of their motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, and inner weaknesses. In balancing those truths, Heron's medicine shows you how to meet the challenges of your personal weaknesses and how to continue developing the skills that lead to inner strength and certainty of purpose. Are you willing to dive into the watery depths of your own feelings and discover the role of the spiritual essence? Hearing the Heron is calling you to delve deeper, to know yourself, to trust your path. Like the phoenix who rises from its own ashes, Heron emerges from the unseen worlds of spirit into a new balanced sense of self in order to embrace its potential again and again. The magnificence of your human spirit lies waiting for the joy of discovery. If you are courageous enough to follow the water bird throughout the journey, Heron reminds you that every traveler on life's journey is a messenger and that every destination is the beginning of a new life cycle on the medicine wheel.
Hmm.
Perfect card, man.
I like that.
Perfect movement card for this time of year. I mean, right on the equinox, or I'm sorry, on the solstice, the height of visible light, Jupiter. I mean, reflection, sense. I mean, this is how. Yeah, it just matches up always with us here on the show, man. I love it. It's
Yeah,
great.
I
So we got
like
blue
that.
heron there.
It's a
I
good
got a couple more I can do. You want to break off and do one? We'll kind of alternate. What do you
Yeah,
got going
I
on today,
do.
Todd?
So
Okay.
today we've got another deck. This is called the
I was gonna say,
manuscripts.
did you get any new decks?
I still got
I
plenty
just,
we haven't seen yet.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
let me switch to the camera real quick for peeps. So here's what I got. It's called the Manuscripts of Initiations Tarot, by
Ooh.
Dark Sinevere. It is like they took a
Okay.
bunch of. The idea was they took Book of Kings, Holy Bible, the Quran, the Psalters, the botanical and alchemical tractates, Book of
Oh wow.
Creation, bestiaries, astrological and magical manuscripts. All these sources, uh, they're entwined in this deck.
Wow. So they
Yeah.
put like kind of the numerology, the symbolism all together. That's awesome.
Well, I don't know if it has all
All
that, but
right.
we'll find out. It's also got great
Well,
golden borders. I don't know if the camera can get. Yeah, camera's kind of getting that. Yeah. Let me shuffle these up real quick. We'll do the standard. Show us what we need to see.
nice.
I'll send you a picture.
That always works well with you, Todd. You always pull out the freaking exact thing we need to see too, man. I love it.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna do. Let's do. We'll do one card off the top for our main thing, and then we'll do the bottom of the deck as our underlying story. I kind of like that addition.
I like that. Yeah, as the roots and then the flowering, kind of what you, yeah,
Yes,
the
sir.
manifestation and versus where it came from. I like that.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Ooh, we drew the Page of Wands. And
Nice.
let's look at our underlying story. Our underlying story is going to be V.
Thief,
V of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles.
which might be the thief of the night. That's neat. So we've got a five of pentacles and a page of wands up top.
You'll
Okay,
like
so
this
page of
art.
wands. We get a lot of night page, and wand is creation. That's fire. So when you look at the wand cards, you notice it's always some kind of stick with leaves coming out. That's cardinal fire, Aries energy, creative force right there. And a page, is a knight, it's the young hero. Yeah, he's young. He's going to be a king someday, but he's got to go through all the battles, and which is very much what we have to do in society right now. We've got to go through all these things coming up to get through to the good stuff, to get to be to the golden age. We've got to do the work. We've got to stop passing it down to the kiddos. I mean, it never gets done. You're looking at work that builds up, that builds up, that builds up. I love the artwork on this. It's all medieval.
Right.
I'm gonna have to freaking get this deck. Look at this. This is beautiful. So we've got, and notice the page on the page of wands, black and white. So a true page, a true young knight comes from, the black and the white, right? It's the clear bursts the black, bursts the white. So it's showing you, obviously, you can't see the clear, right? Because that's who is inside the black and white, is the clear, is the Christ doll. So you've got that black and the white. It's a black up top, black hood, white chest showing you where all the color comes out. Cancer, that nurturing, element, the white that contains all the color and the sense, but it's also grounded in the black too. So that Saturn, that roots, that, that deep matter, just your pretty much. And then also Pisces down there, the black water, your dirty water, the stuff that, the sewage, you don't put that up in your mind. You keep that, you stand on top of it. You keep your foot on the snake's head. That's how that stuff works. Five of Pentacles.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking Thief in the Night, and here's this card.
Yeah.
Five is really an expression of, something that rises up like a pyramidal. So it's that actual growth. It's that
Five.
real
Thief.
coming to the 13. You're getting extension instead of being on a 2D plane. God is here. This 3D object is now in front of you. You've got extension above the north, south, east, west. It's a bakery. Man, bread. It's been on my mind a lot lately. I think it was the original sin. I mean, like, how that the language crystal book gets into that bread and all that,
Yeah.
because the same word bread in Hebrew equates to war. So there's a word
Yeah.
in Hebrew that means bread, and the same word means war. So that shows you that, in a way, this book presents it. It presents bread as our offering to the fire god. And the fire god is pretty much, we took on the fire god because we wanted a chunk of eternity. We wanted to be part of things beyond form. We wanted to be really in the all, because of fire, like we were talking about earlier, it's just an extension of form. So the fire is like the height of form. It's the most glorified aspect of the form. All of the matter, all of the earth, all of the water, it floats on water. Earth floats on water. It's Bob. Remember, it's
Yep.
just bobbing in the sea. You've got water. That's why if you look around, water is under us. It goes down. It's the only land all around you. The land you sit on, you're above the water. There's little creeks that are lower than you, going down and being creeks into rivers, into oceans. It all goes down. It's all going down. So the Five of Pentacles. Pentacles are earth. Pentacles are money. Um, Pentacles are possessions. Underneath this telling us the roots, our root is very rooted in matter. It's a perfect root card. We've got, are we rooted in bread? Are we rooted in the leavened bread or the unleavened bread? We've got blue and red inside the bakery right there. So we've got the infrared option on your light, and then you've got the blue option, right? The future versus the past, marrying in the bakery of the now. So really, you've got Saturn and Jupiter, the two generative form bosses or gods or what have you, that dictate all form here. And they're in the bakery, the Five of Pentacles. They dictate what springs up from the fourth into the fifth, which connects to the Blue Heron 45 card again, which is also going to connect back to the bakery, because you cut the bread with a 45 knife edge, a nice sharp edge. 45 is the quickest. It's the fastest, and it's pretty much where the fixed natures sit. So all the quick, unseen, fixed feelings, all of that deep-rooted stuff is very much of the cross sections. And it's cross, sex, shun. It's so fast it keeps shunning it off. That center fixed line is thinner than a spider's web line. I mean, the middle is just so razor thin. It's so fast. Any little bit of sway, any teeter will put you on the left or right. It's not something. It's very hard to just be still on. I mean, you're constantly using a ebb and flow on each side of the left and right to stay on that center wire. So you're kind of like using an S, a little baby sine wave, and a big sine wave. So you want to touch extremes, and then you want to have a tight base too. So you want to have those two, I guess, what do they call it? Tightrope walkers use the balancing stick. That's pretty much what we're using, a balancing stick to stay on the center line.
Right.
And that's a lie in. Where do you put your foot? On the snake's head, on the lie inside. So you keep your feet on it. You want to stay as a tightrope walker. Any bend in the rope will put arc in it. You want that tight, straight rope, that 90-degree or that 180. The straight lines are the lines of permanency. Those are the ones that connect to the center. The 180 is the only thing that goes through the middle, and that's Saturn. That's it. That's why Saturn rules the opposition. And Lord knows I got a ton of those in my chart. Let me see. And 150s. I got 9 of the 150s. Josh, he listens in a lot. He's got 11 150-degree quincunx angles. I mean, he's the only one I know that has seen more than on my freaking chart, which
I gotta
is.
get you to do mine at some point.
No, I think we should do that on an episode, kind of break down your chart, and we could show people just astrology in general, and it could help for sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good polls, Todd. I'm gonna see what we got on the Illuminati side of the spectrum here.
By the way, I finished that image of the Saturn overlaid with the other one. So after
Oh,
this,
did you?
let's take a look at that.
Chuck that up right now while I'm shuffling, man.
Sure,
Let's see
sure. What?
Did you do the first row, the gut row, or did you do all of them?
All of them.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this is interesting.
Interesting.
Look at how the top of the rows.
Yeah.
That's neat. This looks similar. Okay. The 2 pillars and the center eye. Wow, dude. This is cool. Now you can see something.
Yeah, you know.
And look at that. The central pillar throws the 2 pillars in the middle. So it throws those 2 angles in the middle. Yeah, man, that's interesting. But what is that center Cancer? See that Cancer eye, man. That's the beautiful eye right there too, I bet. I don't know, that Gemini eye looks just evil to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's the shape, It's the shape associated with the imagery that's
And that's where
always
we
in
are.
TV, Like Saya.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's not a coincidence right there. All right, we're gonna go with so Illuminati card here. We're looking at Todd. Great work on that, man. That's spectacular. Sure. Gay activist. Awesome. We're gonna take a picture of this. Get this on. That is, God, isn't this ever hitting the freaking our world of information nowadays? Is this shoved down our throats that is people's sexual preference?
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, dude. I mean, we live in a world where now it's almost like I feel like we got to protect the children a little bit. Like they're just bombarded with it in kindergarten, even. They're coming out with, all these pretty much, celebrate it this month. And yeah, Amy just said Nickelodeon had a gay pride week on Nickelodeon. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, very, very touching.
See, I mean, it's just, I'm not like, I understand. I'm not knocking it 100%. Like, look, if you want to, and even things like the box saga, like there's a lot of like swallowing your own semen and some pretty off the wall shit in there. So, I mean, I'm down with some crazy stuff, but like if you want to keep the system going, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's obvious, right? I mean, this is a realm of sex. This is a realm of positive meets negative. I mean, that's pretty much, I'm not saying you can't play with some positive and negative, but you can't put it as educational principles inside of what we're going to call classrooms. I mean, that's not education. That's your preference of the worldview being put in our formative child's minds at a young age when they're sponges. I mean, you're building. We can see what you're doing. Like I feel like most of the kids right now are prisoners. They don't know it, of course. I mean, what do children do? Children rebel from the parents. So it's going to be very easy for children to take on any kind of nature that the media tells them. They're going to, oh, your parents aren't progressive. They're stuck in all these conservative ways. And, you should just be out there, whatever feels good, right? We were just talking about that. It's kind of not you don't want to let your full blown desire system just go to town. You want to put some thought into it too, right? Don't you want to pass down your egg or your seed? You're a protector. You're a cosmic keeper if you're a woman of your egg, or if you're a male right now of the seed. And you have a duty to hone that seed, hone that egg, and do your best and to pass it down in a better than you got it situation so we can fucking fix this system. I mean, that's literally how we do it. That's
Like,
why when you get back to the Bach saga, they only had sex for baby making purposes during week of the year right now coming up in 3 days,
oh yeah.
because when you on June 24th, because when you pop out kids, you pop them out in Aries 0 degrees, and you get the strongest, most beautiful children, they said back then. And they said that we weren't just breeding for love and compassion and everybody should get a turn. We wanted the strongest and the most beautiful people is what we were breeding for.
Mm,
So we've all, of course, are way off of that now, and we're off into pretty much anything goes land. But I mean, there used to be some actual like goals of society and
yeah.
in general. Like there was like overall, we were all working towards something. Like
Yeah.
to
That's like I
not
say, we
to
don't
like
have that vision anymore, you know? We don't,
no,
like,
people
nobody
just,
knows what
oh,
to
I got
strive for.
pregnant. Like,
Right.
did you know
Yeah.
when you were putting down that seed? I mean, did you have a plan? Was there intention in there? I mean, because there used to be intention in there. Like, and you know what they did 30 days before they went and had sex on the 24th? She pretty much gave him blowjobs for 30 days in a row, and she would swallow the semen. And the story goes that her body, her cells, her gut mind, her internal system would get the seed of the father, would get the information set so it could start building the correct egg that the
Hmm.
seed was going to come into. So, I mean, there
Wow.
was a giant, like, very sacred approach to everything. And this was back when our whole entire society, our economy was ran on the sexual fluids of man and woman.
Hmm.
We literally, you
Isn't
would
it
go,
still that way, technically?
it really is. It really, really is.
Not
I mean,
as
it really
well
is.
now because it's
People
not
don't know it
functioning
though,
properly.
but a lot of the, elite cults or whatever, those are all just deep sexual cults with involving sexual fluids. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much what you're looking at.
And yoga, I'm
Um,
sure, too, to
Right. I mean, and
enhance your
the
abilities
woman was
as.
in charge of all math and
Wow.
all number. That's what there's plenty of proof back, and they changed it at some point in the medieval days. Probably why they call it the medieval, because the middle's good, or well, the middle's not good. The middle's the middle, right?
Right.
There's no good or bad in the middle. But what
Yeah.
they did is they put evil in the middle, and
Yeah.
that's why the medieval period was the transition, because the mid got a virus, it got evil in it, and we got the medieval.
Wow.
So
So.
right there you can look to that period and see beautiful things that were getting manipulated. And you see a lot of a woman with a pretty much a compass or a square, taking measurements, writing down numbers, probably because she was, who knows, swallowing the father's seed all the time, and was pretty much, her mind was going crazy from all of this sacred sexual fluids being ingested inside of her, that we have no clue what really happens with these things. I mean, it's we really don't. But yeah, they used to trade it up. The lowest people on the earth were the Australis people. I don't know if that's Australia or not, but and this was a big caste system, this whole entire thing, and I think it still is, of course. And what the cosmos made the Australis people, the men, the lowest of the whole entire system were the men of the Australis people, because they didn't have enough power in their seed to make a woman pregnant. So
Hmm.
they literally
Wow.
could not give their seed toward, like they had no gift of seed. So
Wow.
they had nothing. And
So what
the
they do?
woman
Like,
of
could they work up or towards it or what?
So it was a caste slave of all men system in the Australis system, and it says they kept the trails and they were the bushwhackers, which is where you get the bushmen, the bush stuff down under.
Yeah.
That's where you get bush league rules and softball, all these lower class. The whole thing comes from there, and the woman of the next higher up, what was it? The starts with an L or a K or something. People, anyways, which was the Logos people. The women of that society, any of the second lowest to the bottom, any male that got birth was the Australis, because the woman that was on the lowest woman, if she gave birth to a woman, they would stay in that second class system. But all the men that were birthed from a second class woman would go down into that lowest class. And then the highest class, if there was a men born, they would be the leaders of the next one down. And their seed would be very powerful. And it was all a measure of the potency of your seed, of
Wow.
what was packed in there. And you worked on this through your desire, your moral systems, through actual experiences. So the people that were at the bottom of the system were there for their own actions and doings. It wasn't about, oh, we're just going to be mean to you and put you over here. Everything was where it was because it was karma, because it was causation principles. And all the so the men that were born on the third lowest got sent down to the second lowest, and they mated with the lowest woman. So the second lowest man mated with the lowest woman, and pretty much what happened at that, so the second lowest man was the last man that had enough power to make a baby, pretty much, that had enough power in the seed. And the woman, she always, you never find a woman that doesn't have an egg. All women have the egg. And, but they don't all have the same quality of the egg and the same principles behind the egg. The egg is something that the woman hones and the woman builds. She has very strong nurturing. She's got a very strong milk system. You know, there's properties of a woman that are nurturing, that are, you know, what are considered beautiful and what we breed or strive for as a society. You know, we
Right.
want healthy mothers that can breastfeed their children for a long time and have a lot of milk. And that's a skill in nature. That's a gift. Like that is, you imagine trying to go around finding bark and roots for your little baby to eat. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
there's no way. So the skills of a woman are different than the skills of a man. The man, you know, he's packing a bunch of different stuff in there. And so they would pass the men would, during when it wasn't the time of year where they would make children, they would, if they pretty much ejaculated, they would take their semen, they would wrap it in a animal sack, so they would simulate a ball sack. They would take skin, and think of that word, ball sack, BAAL, is pretty, and it contains a liquid, and it makes it so that liquid can't evaporate. That's the whole nature of I guess, a ball sack, is it doesn't allow, it's the only thing that osmosis can't really work well with. And it's the two different types of skin, epidermis, the inner versus outer skin. So if you look like your rectum, certain areas of your body have that smooth skin. Water can't go in there. That's a one-way street, right? Everything's come out. And the same thing with the ball sack, one-way street. Things aren't going to go out right here. They're going to be contained within. So they would always pass them up. And then the men of the upper classes would eat the semen of the lower classes. So they, and this is how they would gain all the knowledge of underneath them. So
Wow.
their, all of the underneath experience would be contained in their seed, and it would be a gift and a sacrifice to those above them that know more. And those above them, it's not an ego thing. They would provide for them. The kingdom above provides for the whole kingdom below, and so on. So it's a gift. It's a real fatherhood. And so, and this ends up, everybody, even the lowest Australis man in the whole system, could look up and he could see his great, 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 great father sitting up there as the Bach on top of the rock, you know, the one with the most powerful seed that rules them all.
Wow.
And that's pretty much the story of the Bach saga in a nutshell, right there.
That's good.
Literally, nutshell. But yeah, all the semen would get passed up to the top. I mean,
Wow.
that's pretty much what, so the second highest one would pass up to the top, right? And then who the top, they would hold on to theirs and only give it out for children making. That was their only job. They could only release it for children making. And then those were considered the highest children because they had the highest potentials in their seeds and their eggs. They had the most gifts, the most nature gifts per se. We don't always get the same quantity of our gifts. We all have different qualities of gifts, but sometimes our cup isn't all the way full like we could use in our patience factor, or, you know, and that's why we have to build them. When you then go through life's experiences with a half full cup and you can work on that cup, you can start to fill it up. A cup can contain more liquid, you know, so you can fill it up and dilute the shit that's in there, or you can pour it out and start over. I mean, there's many choices.
Right.
Gay activists, we got away from that, but yeah, so just look for that in the news next week or two. Just watch out for them using people's sexual preferences as a way to cause more division.
Same
Which,
old
man, they've
shit.
really just been doing that. I think, yeah, we're in Gay Pride Month as we speak. Like I said, this isn't a gay bashing podcast or anything like that. And there's not a bigger fans out there than the transparent than right here. So, I mean, it's not about trans and all that, but it's about the real trans and it's about the real gay, like the real happy, the real transparent, the parentless parent. It's how you got here. It's your transportation. It's see-through, clear. Um, yeah, it's all contained and we're in a fucking word system. This is all logos. This is all a body of sound. This whole entire thing, you're pulling everything out from a world you can't see into a world you can see through sound. And the whole D, the whole through is sound. That's why there's a D at the end of sound. That's why you sound things and you can see them. That's how bats see. I mean, radar. It's all fucking there. This whole entire thing.
I've been
All right,
seeing
we're
bats.
getting a rune.
Ooh,
I like runes.
they're
Runes
cool.
are pretty awesome. All right, what's this? Ooh, this is a neat one. I don't know what this one is, but I'm gonna look it up here in a sec. It's the double X.
Okay. I don't. I want to say Soelu, but I don't know.
Let me see. Fertility. Oh my
Oh,
god, dude.
perfect.
We were just talking about we're coming up on the day when you conceive and you should plan a child if you want the strongest and most beautiful child. And we get fertility rune. Oh my god, dude. Let's see what the fertility rune says. I want to see
Oh,
this now.
oh, hold on
What
a
page
second.
are we on?
Hey, hold on a
8.
second. Happening. No data. Let's go online. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
good. Think we might still be going.
Thanks.
We'd be getting text probably if we were off, so or something.
All right, I think we're back.
So this says for all right, cool. So this is Inga's it says fertility, new beginnings, the hero god.
Cool.
I mean, come on, we got the page today, who is the young hero. We're sitting at the height of light, the freaking fertility is on its max right now, sex is at its height. It says this rune is akin to the moon. I mean, come on, we're going into freaking Cancer, cardinal water ruled by the moon. The intuitive part of our nature. So if you think about it, tropical Cancer is sidereal Gemini. So the intuitive part is that mutable air inside, going crazy, with its urge toward harmonizing and adjusting in the sphere of personal relationships. Ingas embodies the need to share. We were talking about that today. The yearning to be desired, a search after similarities.
Hmm.
A completion of beginnings is what Ingas requires. So that's very much, you got to complete what you started. We started this all the way back on December 21st, and tomorrow's the June 21st. You're completely opposite of something that you started. It's just so happens Mars is debilitated right now, and he was exalted before. So Mars is beat down. He's freaking been doing some hard work. He got us all the way to the top of this damn mountain of light. And now he's going to relax and reflect on all these battles. And now it's going to be the mental battles. Now he's going to have mental reflections and going to have to balance those as we approach Libra in the fall. And let's see, a rune of great power, drawing its means that you now have the strength to achieve completion, resolution, from which comes a new beginning. Above all, completion is crucial here. It may be timely that you complete some project now. If so, make it your first priority. Perhaps a difficult state of mind can be resolved, clarified, turned around. Drawing this root indicates that you must fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. All things change, and we cannot live permanently amid obstructions. Ingas signals your emergence from a closed chrysalis state. As you resolve and clear away the old, you will experience a release from tension and uncertainty. You may be required to free yourself from a rut, habit, or relationship, from some deep cultural or behavioral pattern, some activity that was quite proper to the self you are leaving behind. The period at or just before birth is often a dangerous one. Movement involves danger, yet movement that is timely leads out of danger. Now it is time to enter the delivery room. Another of the cycle runes, Inga's counsels preparation. Being centered and grounded, freeing yourself from all unwanted influences, and seeing the humor, you are indeed prepared to open yourself to the will of heaven and can await your deliverance with calm certainty. Perfect, man.
I posted some
You
cool
know, it's
pictures on the thing too.
cool. Let's
The
see.
seed rune.
Seed rune. Oh yeah, ingots. Look at that. Creation, genesis, process, evolution, energetic burst. And that's where we are right now. When the right, I guess a little back to the box saga, and then we'll finish up here. But the highest woman on earth, I mean, it just relates so much to this time of year. It's incredible. Because their whole festival season, all of our festivals are pretty much from this time period, and during all we have all pagan festivals still. They
Yeah.
just have them under the name of materialism. So we're coming up on, a very big day. Like the summer solstice is huge, man. This entire system gives glory to this day. The mother is freaking worshipped right here by the father. This is he is holding her right here. And it says in the Box Saga, when the highest woman on earth, when she would go. There was a place, it's up in Finland. It was right where the center of the axis of this system lines up with the center of the universal system. And on June 21st, see, you died, you went, according to the Box Saga, not when you died. You went when it was your time to go,
Mm-hmm.
and your time to go, you were told when it was your time to go. So
Dang.
um, one of the gifts to man was the walking stick, and this is a spine, but it's also symbolized by a walking stick. So you can lose a leg can go out, but you can still pick up a cane and walk around and move around. An animal, it can't do this. So this is why this was a gift to man. When an animal breaks a leg, it's time for him to go. He's going to get eaten. He's not going to make it. There's no surgery for him. He's not going to go get to have a walking stick to help him around anymore. So a human, once they're on the stick, they're getting close. So once you can't stand up anymore is how you measure it's your time to go. So once you can't get around on a walking stick and you go down, it's your time to take your life, is what the Bach Saga says. And how people would go is through the Etta Stupa if you were a woman. Or I guess if you were a man too, but I think man went a little bit differently that the story hasn't released yet. I think it has something to do with the dark cave inside.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and that's because that's where she died. She fell off Etta Stupa of a high rock at the foot of a cave. The woman wasn't allowed inside the cave. She wasn't allowed to go in there. That was the realm of the man. And that's what they worship. So the inside the cave was for the man, which if you think where a penis goes, it goes in the cave. But she stays outside of the cave. So that's her realm,
Yeah.
is on that left visible realm. So the day that she chooses to pass, the highest woman on earth, is the summer solstice moment during or the day. So June 21st typically, and then at noon on that day is when it's the highest point of light at that particular spot, in terms of alignment on the earth where that was at in Finland. So for us right now on summer solstice at our degrees, are during this time of day on June 21st, we're actually not going to hit the center of the day more till like 2 o'clock or one something, because the day is really stretched out here. However, there it was directly overhead. So when she went at the stupa, you pretty much fall backwards off a cliff 100 feet and then die by impact. So what they would do is she would look into the rays of the exact moment of the straight 90-degree arc, which is her angle, the Mars, 90 degrees. That's her spot. That's where she goes, the infrared. So she would go back into that single ray right there. There's only one opening. That's the gate of the gods right there. Or sorry, the gate of man. As the gate of the gods is on the other side in Capricorn. But the gate of man is woman. Woman gives birth to all men, all things, all animal women give birth to all the male animals. So it's all comes from the woman. So that Mars infrared realm is her realm. So that's why the highest woman on earth would choose to look into that particular angle of light, because that's where her soul or I'm sorry, her spirit would go off into that last moment of that thing you looked at when life flashes before your eyes. That ray would pick her up. That father would hold her right there and absorb her. So the father's holding her right there as she lets her soul down into her own mother. It's kind of a It's really neat, man. I mean, the more I look at this story, most people can't get past like the sexual taboos and stuff. But once you can start to get past that and not let it bother you too much, there's some just insanely deep stuff in there.
Wow.
And yeah, so if people haven't checked out the Box Saga, you can look that up on YouTube. Jim Chesnar does a great 3-part series where he's given and pretty much gives the main story. A lot of other people try, but it's not what people think it is. They think it's some kind of mythos you can discover, but it's hidden. Everybody has the Box Saga. Every time you use an English word, you're using the Box Saga. It's all contained in the sound. That's how you can break apart any English word. Box Saga says that English is the oldest language on earth. It goes way back. It's our
Really?
original language. It's the language of the angels. English. English.
English.
So Anglos. Angles low. So it's the angles coming down low. And it glows. The angles glow. They light up. Sound body, luminescent, piezoelectric. It's all there. It's all in the words, man. It's all hidden. That's why anytime you're confused, just stop, look at the word. Every word has a story. And especially now, the spelling system they give us for the words isn't always correct. So look at the sound first. The sound is your start. Plane is a plane is a plane is a plane. There shouldn't be all those different things there for you. A plane should be 180 degrees. Your only bird you should know about is Saturn, the 180-degree plane that you sit on, that all matter goes and goes through the center. It's the only way. That's the only plane there is. And they just happen to take other things like and spell it differently and tell you about this plane that flies in the sky. Now, well, what do you think Saturn does then? It probably flies in the sky. I mean, it's probably a plane, right? I mean, it's just the whole thing. There are no puns. So when they create a pun, they're just creating an offshoot of that logic somewhere. They're showing you a little hint every time. So, yeah, man, break down the words, people. What are we at? Look at that, 2.5 hours. 2.5 Earth hours is 1 minute of Saturn time. So I've given you a minute of my time.
Nice.
We did it. What do we got next week? 14. Osiris's body was split up into 14 different pieces. So we could
Members.
probably get into some of that. That'd be a neat little, which is going to be your 14 crystalline structures. Just a little sneak peek there.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that's Osiris's body, and it got scattered, and we got to put it back together. So, what happens when you put all the crystalline structures back together, right? The puzzle gets put back together. Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, Humpty Dumpty's up back on the wall. He didn't fall off it. A fake phallic. Oh yeah. They replaced his penis with a fake phallic because they couldn't find his penis. You know why they couldn't find his penis? Because the father's invisible on the right and you can't see him. So you can't find him because you can't see him in the world of Lou because that's all. Anything you can see is feminine. All the
Right.
grass, the dog, me, you,
Yep.
everybody is feminine here. This is all feminine. You're all absorbing light. You're all taking in light. You're all at your most core nature a negative body. You're absorbing it. So that's why I think alkalinity inside of your acidic nature system is a good balance. So that's why our natural acidic being here in this acid vault where they dump all the dead bodies to melt in the acid to get rid of the evidence is pretty much where we are. I think an alkaline system can keep you around. So stuff yourself with leaves, lots of leaves, teas. I mean, that's why I drink kratom is because it's pretty much dried out leaves. Not pretty much, it is dried out leaves.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, we know marijuana is a leaf. There's more plants in us. I mean, of course, we got salads and the gardens that you grow and all that plant kingdom, man. It's going to get back to that overlay system, the hemoglobin and the chlorophyll. You're getting your base ingredient, your vitality. The plant is the vitality kingdom, the one kingdom, the mono, the moon, that crystalline nature. So I'm not saying it's wrong to eat animals. I'm just saying that, you just get some of that in you too. That's all.
Yeah.
You
Balance.
know, balance. That's it. Play with what you. I mean, you're an experimental vessel. at least take what you're doing and take it enjoy. If you're eating meat, study how meat affects you. If
Yeah.
you don't eat meat, study how that affects you. If you are a dick to everybody and narcissistic, study how that affects you. I mean, whatever you're doing,
Stop.
at least, yeah, just stop
Chill
that.
out, bro. Don't be an
Right.
asshole.
But just get something out of it, damn it, for the
Yeah.
all. When you come back to the all and you got this big basket of goodies, don't bring a whole basket of shit that everybody else is bringing. Bring some new shit. Oh, hey, look what Stan brought over here. What the hell's this? Where'd you get that? You remember in the Smoky God how all the people that were singing in three-part harmony on the boat once they rescued them off the boat when they went over to the side with all these giant people, giant trees, and all these people in harmony, they
Yeah.
were all fascinated by the compass. All of them wanted to go look at what this compass object was, right? I mean, a simple instrument to us on this side is like some world of information for them on their side. So, I mean, it's just it's not always. First of all, the grass isn't always greener, and there's something to be learned everywhere. Everything contains something you should be, just absorbing a little bit at least. Don't let it all go by you. And don't bring, like I said, the same thing that everybody else is bringing. Don't bring the same pair of red shoes. Don't bring the same divided consciousness that everyone's going to bring. I mean, no, of course, not everybody. We got some awesome people here, but awesome angels, awesome spirits, awesome souls. We got a serious lot of quality of awesomeness, but we have a majority of mundaneness. That's why we have the mundane. Without that, we wouldn't have the awesome rarities, right? We just have pretty much all the awesome rarities would become mundane. So it's required, but at the same time, stand out, just be visible. You're not going to be visible over there if you blend in. You're just going to be part of the pretty much the food or the sine wave that the real things eat and absorb. That's what I don't want to say what your goals should be, but my goals are to be a real being someday. It's like Pinocchio, the little wooden boy, right? You
Yeah.
want to be real,
You know what
and
McKenna
that's what we
says
are.
about
We're
that?
what what does he say?
Terrence McKenna says if you don't have a plan, you're going to become someone else's plan, or you're going to be a part of someone else's plan.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
This really is. I mean, you're either going to be in somebody else's thought kingdom or you've got your own kingdom. I mean, it's pretty much, and the people that the beings that I'm going to be hanging out, I didn't have to give them the keys. They already brought their own keys and we all ended up at the same place that has the same lock. I mean, that's pretty much the beings I've been surrounding myself with nowadays. I know we're all going to be celebrating in joy and probably crying about the shit we missed out on too. I mean, it's probably going to be a little bit of both. And I mean, I'm not saying we're going to have human emotions there and stuff, but I know we're going to be able to recall everything. I know we're going to be able to review everything. I know we're going to still be able to make plans off of these plans. I mean, it's a never-ending plane.
Hmm.
Really, I mean, it really is. It's an infinite plane. I mean, people want to talk about flat Earth, this and that, but let's talk about the infinite nature of all dimensions. Show me a dimension that stops somewhere. That's fucking retarded.
Let's save that for next time.
Yeah, I know. I
uh,
know. Yeah, we
actually,
might have
yeah.
to get some people on there too for that one. That might be a good like
Oh yeah.
12 people conversation.
Oh,
But yeah, man, Todd, I appreciate it. I had a big throw up week, so I'm sorry I didn't let you talk that much, man.
no, you're doing great. Um, we got stuff
But
and doodles and
I was gonna say, I bet you got the drawing in though.
oh for sure, yeah, it's always fun. Take notes.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
that's it for today, right?
That's it, man.
It's been yeah,
Come see us next week. Everybody that listened in, thank you. Appreciate it. Share it if you can. Let's get some new victims in here, and pretty much then we can all stop being victims, right?
never
That's
was,
the
never will
goal,
be.
man.
Thanks.
We're gonna build it one episode at a time.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to get a lot of people on still, so I'm down with we could go back to like a Tartaria style episode next week if you want. If some
Sure.
people want to come on, if I'm down like a
Yeah.
clown, dude. I love having people on, so It
Yeah.
lets me chill a little bit more, and
I'd love to get the vibe from everyone's location because we got a lot of people all over, so that would be really cool.
yeah, we got even like I know on the other server people from India. I mean, it's literally all over the world. A lot of European,
Mm-hmm.
the mics and stuff, and we've got a lot of the states. We've got Canada now, Sheldon up there in Saskatchewan. So I mean, we've got then me and Josh and you. We got Missouri, Kentucky, Ohio right here. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got, and then Brett out in San Diego. We've got eyes on,
Wow.
quite
Pretty
a
much
quite a
got
few spots.
most of the land covered.
I know it, man. We need a South America contact, and
We
like
need
I
an
said, China,
Africa.
dude.
I want an Africa contact.
Africa would
It's
be
like
awesome,
I
dude.
don't know shit about Africa. I know it's huge. It's like what are they
Right.
doing? I know they do magic and shit. They gotta.
I know there's a African rich man in South Africa I was reading.
Uh,
He owns his private ranch is like 1.8 million acres.
holy heck!
I was like,
Wow. What acres? Holy hell!
isn't that like Texas or something?
He
That's a lot of land.
owns a Texas. Oh my goodness.
That's a
Woo!
lot of land.
No
I mean, I don't
shit.
know how much that is, but I mean, I just want a couple acres, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yo, hook me up, bro.
Dude's got 1.8 million. I guess this guy though is like a big, obviously shaker and mover of the whole entire world, like a secret
Yeah.
hidden,
Um,
obviously one of those. So I don't even. That's all I know is there's this guy lives in South Africa somewhere,
wow.
and he's got 1.8 million acres to his name. And he's probably some original landowner there from some deep family seated history. We probably should just be looking at him. Probably get a lot of our answers right there.
Yeah.
Checking out his family history and seeing what the hell he did.
Yeah.
Because I know I
Um,
don't have 180 million acres. Well, I guess we all do. It's really all of our systems, so
yeah.
we're gonna take it back. We'll get it.
No
They're just
problem.
watching it for us.
Yeah. Thanks, bros.
Yeah.
You can take it easy
All right,
though
Todd,
now.
man. I love you. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, run, go get some Sunday.
Do it. All right. Yeah. Take care, Barry. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace.